minor Thai difficulties aside, which was a really clever thing at the time, and now I should probably work in some better inside jokes for the rest of the stream, we're here. Hey, everybody. We're gonna be a little discombobulated still, but we're gonna do the best that we can. And by do the best that we can, what I mean more specifically and precisely is we're gonna go ahead and do more Final Fantasy XIV MSQ. I know I've been expressing some reluctance, for lack of a better word. I need to make this abundantly clear. I'm still enjoying Final Fantasy XIV. I'm not burnt out on the game or anything like that. I can still play tons of it. It's more... there's like a restlessness inside of me. I have an oh-so-burning desire to knock it out somehow. I think another part of the problem, too, in some ways, is just there is a... I don't even know what the right word is. Maybe a fear of missing out that wasn't there previously, because here's the thing. In the past, when I heard that there's a new patch or expansion or whatever coming out, Ghost of Eggwitch Sabada, thank you so much for the sub. A whole year of subs for a whole year streak. MS Wednesday, also a whole year. That is nuts. Yeah, what the heck? That is nuts. Also, Sabada, let me pick your brain later about using your AI for nefarious and very personal needs. But thank you, friend. Yeah, a part of it is just, in the past, because I was so far behind in the game, I was like, there's always something new to look forward to, and it's always far beyond the horizon. It's a lack of resource scarcity. Now, the resources are very scarce. And by resources being very scarce, I mean new story, right? I'll be able to play Final Fantasy XIV for the rest of my life. The game is built off of an existent model of trying to convince people to keep playing. But will it still have engaging story? And I know people are saying, like, we still don't have all the answers, which is fine, but I'm curious. Because, again, I do like novelists who write large, epic-spanning sagas. But on the flip side, it's like, is there an existent, more succinct and fulfilling story, and are you avoiding it explicitly for the purposes of keeping it going, keeping the readers reading? Which, again, if you didn't do that, would I go out and write fanfiction? Probably. But it's just something that's been on my mind a lot recently, and specifically with regards to Final Fantasy XIV, with 6.2 coming out, me being like closer to Island Sanctuaries than ever before, but then also hearing that, you know, obviously for future expansions are farther down the line, so we'll see what it looks like. But that's enough of all of that nonsense. I want to say hi to all of y'all, friends. Ender Friend, hello. Top Hat, Anya, hello. Oh, whoa. Ghost of Eggwitch Sabada, of course. Bubbly Girl, Bubble Bulling Trouble. Well, we'll see how it goes. Plain, hello. I'm gonna go ahead and get this gosh darn thing started, hey. Also, if someone feels like just being the most generous soul to have ever existed, can someone confirm for me how S ranks are spawned in in Heavensward specifically? Because I went on to the Final Fantasy XIV hunt timers to look up how to spawn the S ranks, and it's like, hypothetical method is bringing out a minion and asking them to dance on the grave of someone, or like killing this particular mob so many times but letting like a bird scream about it or something. S ranks each have unique actions for each of them. Okay, curiouser and curiouser. because I wanna do another hunt event for the dupes where I specifically like get all the S ranks to spawn in Heaven's Ward. But if S ranks in Heaven's Ward are also kill on site, that could be annoying. So it'll have to be food for thought later. Might be easier to talk over the explanation. Interesting. Okay. We could maybe make a day of that. I do want to go back, and I know I've said this a million times. We're probably going to go back to a model where we only stream MSQ on Fridays, or Final Fantasy XIV on Fridays, to be precise. But that might be when we get to Shadowbringers. In part because, or not Shadowbringers, that's what we are. That might be when we get to Endwalker, in part because I then want to stretch it back out long-wise. There's also a world in which this is the last week of back-to-back MSQ, so we'll just play it all by ear. You know how it did. S ranks are never kill on site. Interesting. Okay. I think you might have a more noble and altruistic view on that one, but fair enough, plain. Also, yeah, so the thing, Sabata, that I was going to ask you with regards to the AI, because there are some things that I want to use it explicitly for my own well-being, but like, could you ask the artificial intelligence to look at a picture of an already existent thing and then do variations therein? This is me being vaguely weird and selfish, but I was just like, can I get the AI to do cool fan art of Ishgard? Because I've just been going through and there's like a lot of really cool pictures of the city and I love it. Which is, again, nothing. But one of the things that I'm thinking about is, so we were talking about doing a tabletop role-playing game stream. And I still want to go back to that. But one of the things that I was thinking about is it could be kind of fun to do that under the guise of maybe statting out Ishgard or doing something along those departments. So yeah. Yes and no, you can, but it requires some finessing. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, an RPG stream sometime, maybe. I make no promises, but it could be pretty cool. Specifically, I'm using the A Song of Ice and Fire's tabletop role-playing game system to manipulate what could be some of these stats for... Hello? My brain? For the high houses of Ishgard, and now including the major and minor noble houses. But there's other things that we can do, Ironsworn, all of those stuff. So yeah. You mean some of them require an hour of more direct effect to spawn, and the people who do that are generally doing so for the community to share the rewards. Also, things like when they are spawned in Time of Death are things the hunt community needs to know, so they can try to spawn it again as they have a cooldown between open windows. So, the reason why I specifically want to do Heaven's Ward S ranks, in part, is because I'm worried about... I want to do it at a sort of a slower pace. Just do it based off of however everybody is feeling at that time. And like do like sort of more RP focused and that kind of thing. So if I do a Heaven's Ward S rank hunt thing, do I still need to inform the hunt communities about it? And am I allowed to ask for forgiveness after the fact rather than ask permission beforehand? But valid. They don't let you do a direct modification of an image in fear of NSFW stuff. You know what, that's valid. But you can make the AI recognize the image and shift the weight to essentially do it. Ooh, interesting. Have I played the Song of Ice and Fire tabletop role-playing game? I haven't, and a part of that has to do with high versus low fantasy, and we'll talk about that, but yeah. Oh no. If you're a smug son of a gun, you might be an assy. So much Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, ACS Mars, I realized last week, like, again, I was a little... Like, again, the vibes are different doing it back to back to back to back. I think this will be the last week of back-to-back Shadowbringers MSQ, and then we might return to the model of doing it every Friday, or at least do alternating games in between. which is like not a, you know, good thing or a bad thing, but a thing. You might want to spawn S ranks. If you want to spawn S ranks, it might be best to ask for an into the hunt link shells so you can relay when you do spawn them, etc. Okay, good to know. I still need to ask for permission. I just only play Final Fantasy XIV on stream these days, really. So I always just forget to actually talk to somebody about it until it's far too late. So, you know. The house building system is really good and fun to play, but the combat takes forever, and the warfare is either crush or be crushed, no in between. Yeah, that was one of the things that I was wondering about the system. Is I think there needs to be a fusion between the A Song of Ice and Fire's board game, which has sort of that diplomacy level minutia, and the role playing game, because they're both of them like. It's a part of the reason why Risk is such a bad game, is there is an absolute fail state and an absolute win state. So, you know. You're still looking forward to a Portal 2 playthrough? I promise you, Sabata, we will get to it. I want to do a Portal 2 playthrough. The 2 days with one for MSQ and one for side content seemed interesting to you. I know, Ellen, and to be clear, we're never going to stop doing Final Fantasy XIV. It is currently my intention to keep doing it. But a part of the problem is again, just sort of generalized worry about, like, again, FOMO. There's, like, a sense of, like, oh, I'm closer to being caught up than I've ever been before. What does that mean for, like, future things? And then other odds and ends. You know how it goes. Yeah, we could definitely do, like, Thursdays for old content or whatever. You would 100% say use the RPG to build the houses, it's got great tools in it, just use some other game for actual play. Yeah, totally makes sense. Also, the specific chances of a Heavensward S rank being open in the time of your streaming is slim. As you said, it requires some things like traveling over their spawn, sometimes requires doing a fate to specific times. These can take hours. So I think that's where some of the miscommunication is coming in play. I do events specifically for the FC. So if I did do them, I would have to do both getting the hunts to spawn as well as the actual hunting of them off stream. It would be just a little something for me, because believe it or not, sometimes I like to do things off of the stream. I know it's scandalous to say, but yeah. Although it could be an interesting thing to do in general. Risk is just civilization for babies. More takes to come at 11. You know I love the takes all the same. Next take, burgers are a sandwich. Obviously. Burgers are not a sandwich, they're burgers. Why are you lying to yourself and everyone else about this, ACS Minds? Speaking of off-stream stuff, you couldn't sleep last night and did a little reading, read a lot of grinding in Elden Ring. So, whoops, no problem at all, Fluffbot. As long as you're not significantly farther ahead of us, you're good to go. Whoever's running the hunt on your server for more information. Heck yeah. Ender Friend got to swim today. It is a little weird that you went from the East Coast to Ohio to swim, but I ain't gonna judge. Did you miss anything fun in Shadowbringers yesterday? I hate Emet Selch, and there's no further questions. Because the etiquette, etc. isn't the same between EU and US servers. Totally valid. You didn't do any content, just hit a grinding spot for souls? Then you're good to go, Anya. No problem. I hate Emet Selch, and I will not apologize. I hate Emet Selch. Well, I hate Emet Selch. And it's fine. It's fine that I do. It's fine and good, actually. A party soon divided. Okay, I don't know who that is, though. Don't worry. It's definitely not this smug bastard in the middle of this. Pardon my language. Why do you hate the theater kid? Because I was the theater kid. But I was never the good theater kid. I was always the kid who could be found adjacent to the good theater kid. Yeah, Solus Zosgalvis revealed himself as one of the 3 leaders of the Asians, Emet Selch. He also specifically implied that any other Imperial faction is by him. He strongly implied that he is directly related to why Yulmore is the dominant power. He was like, oh, let's be friends. This is my peace overture. But your small ape brains are too stupid to comprehend. I'm Emet Selch. I'm so much smarter than you. And I'm just very frustrated. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, the Allegan Empire, of course. He just implied that everything always goes according to his plan. Which, if he has perfect information, I'd like to introduce him to Farver. He does have a strong Xanatos Gambit energy, right? Anyways, a party soon divided. The manager of suites is in a cheerful mood. Good day to you, sir. I do hope you are well rested. The Exarch and your companions are presently gathered in the Ocular. He asks that you convene with them at your earliest convenience. To be clear, I think it is very possible that I am overreacting, and that Emet Selch is great and fine. I don't want to just give him that as the default. Because I hate him. I presume I have to run up here. Okay.
Ah, there you are. You're just in time to welcome our guest.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were gonna leave this issue unresolved for a lot longer. But alright. This is a welcome change of pace.
Please. Did I not explicitly tell you that we would be meeting again soon?
Yeah, but Final Fantasy XIV has a way of saying that and then
Lest
not
you
letting
forget,
it happen.
I made you a promise. I have no intention of meddling with your mission. I come only to observe.
Hey,
Your Exarch friend in particular has piqued my curiosity. Summoning you all like that. Most impressive.
You honestly expect us to believe you've come only to observe? Or that you might deign to lift a finger to aid our cause if called upon? Even if there were a sliver of truth in your words, I would never accept your help. Not in my darkest hour. Not after all the suffering your kind has wrought.
I feel like Emet Selch is actually here to
So
see if the Crystal Exarch can become another
I meant
Asian.
what I said, and I said what I meant. Wage your war against the Sin Eaters, put each and every Light Warden to the sword, prove yourselves heroes, brave and true, and I will be glad to embrace you as allies.
Or he thinks that we'll get possessed by
Allies
all of the
worthy
light.
bearing the burden of truth.
Don't get him at all.
Surely such a partnership would be preferable to yet another round of fisticuffs. And thus did the olive branch wither and die. Pity. Well, let no man say I did not try, futile as it was. Though I suspect you will seek me out when you grow tired of making the same mistakes. Difficult decisions lie ahead of you. Decisions best made with the benefit of knowledge to which only the Eternal are privy.
Right, so then just give us the information.
For now, I shall resume my shadowy vigil. Whatever you choose to do, make sure it's worth watching, would you?
Yeah, it's that eventually that makes me hate him.
What was that all about?
A vain attempt to make us doubt our chosen course, most like. As if we'd believe a word that passed his lips. Unless you think there is some truth in what he says.
A kernel, perhaps.
If he simply meant to lead us astray, he could have done so without revealing himself. At least, not in the manner he did. It goes without saying that an alliance with the Ascians is out of the question. But since we have no way of knowing where they might be hiding, it seems only logical to press on with our mission, even if our enemy seems content for it to succeed.
Then let us discuss the Sin Eaters.
You have nothing to say
I
about
will
that,
begin
Crystal
by
Exarch?
thanking you all for your efforts thus far. In striking down the Light Wardens of Lakeland and Ilmeg, you have accomplished more in your short time here than all of our forces managed in the last century.
What are the chances that Crystal
That may be,
Exarch is talking to
but
the
wardens of
Ascians behind our
Calusia,
back?
Amareng, and Rak'tika remain.
Indeed, and their precise whereabouts are as yet unknown. Which is why I propose we divide our forces and conduct a systematic survey of each region. Once we have found our quarry, we may then determine how best to proceed.
An Urianger play?
I'll take
Maybe.
Amareng in that case. I know the lie of the land well enough.
If there are no objections, I will make for Calusia. I have connections there both in and around Yulmore that may prove useful.
Then I would ask that you journey to Rak'tika. There you will find Y'shtola. With her assistance, I doubt the Warden will evade your grasp for long.
Y'shtola. Who
Is
was
Y'shtola
called?
the conjurer you and Urianger used to talk about?
That's right. Though we haven't spoken much since she left for the forest.
I fear I may be to blame for that. I had every intention of relaying the news of your arrival, but she is disinclined to speak with me.
Uh-huh.
You have visited her, have you not? Might I trouble you to...
'Twould be no trouble.
My thanks. While you are all out in the field, I shall be here attending to business. I had somewhat fancifully contemplated joining the search myself, but other matters demand my attention.
What's that?
An Aetherite ticket?
A missive from Lord Vorthry. He invites me to join him in Yulmore to discuss the recent conflict at Lida Luran.
So don't do that.
And? Did he even bother to offer any bait? It's obviously a trap.
I should be surprised if it were not.
Hey, pizza.
Nevertheless, I must seize this opportunity to speak with him, even if only a few words are exchanged. Though my power will be much diminished so far from the tower, it is a risk I am willing to take. Master Alphino, might I impose upon you to accompany me to Yulmore prior to beginning your reconnaissance?
Of course.
Then let us make ready. Safe travels to you all.
Oh shit, it's Zodiark. Listen, just because I wanted to get information about Zodiark, so I might have preemptively jumped the gun and said that that's who was calling to us, doesn't mean you get to bully me about it. Oh, wow. Want to become famous? I've never thought about it before, but what a kind-hearted offer. Let me go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and do that. Sign me up. Okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling. I should be glad to apprise thee of Y'shtola's recent endeavors during our journey to Rak'tika. I also have been referring to it as Rak'tika this whole time, so... There are so many ruins scattered throughout Amaray. I'm honestly not even sure where to start. I confess, a great deal of my time in Kaluja was spent befriending the people, but that is not to say I gave no thought to our primary goal. Once I have escorted the Exarch to Yulmore, you can be certain I will do all I can to discern the whereabouts of any warden that may be hiding in Kaluja. Or the warden isn't hiding in Kaluja and is like, I don't know, the warden was eaten by, Vothri. Minfilia and I are no strangers to Rak'tika, but this is perhaps the first time we've bothered entering through the proverbial front door. At last I can finally meet Y'shtola. Thancred has told me so much about her. Before you leave, I would make a request of you. There is a church, or rather the ruins of a church, at Fort Job. Might I ask that you go there before seeking out Y'shtola? It was a place where people once gathered to worship the light. Alas, it has long since fallen into disuse. Yet within that hall there remains a tablet whose writings, I believe, may prove of use to Y'shtola. At the very least, such a relic would make a suitable gift for your reunion. A most considerate proposal. Very well. Ere we depart to Rak'tika, we shall journey into Fort Job that we might secure this relic. Sure. Safe travels, Elvish. I pray that tablet and its contents prove of interest to Y'shtola. Sure. You guys don't change your dialogue, so let's rock and roll. Yeah. Sounds like he's sucking up sausage. I mean, have we already done the thing where... No, I'm not even gonna say it. Actually, I was thinking about it, and it's not even a good idea. Simps. Damn. That's hate speech. You can't say that. Smile. Okay. I'm very curious. What is open world content like in the Endwalker? Like, are there still people who get attacked going through, like, the end zones? And how much more heavily populated are those zones? Do people talk more there? Like, there's just like a lot of like little odds and ends that I'm curious about how they change. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Have a nice life. And so we did also have some advice not to leave the battle music on for Rak'tika. So we are going to go ahead and turn off the battle music for that zone, because I've been informed it will make me lose my mind. So... And I am not keeping these leaves in my inventory. Oh boy, don't look at my inventory. It's fine. More random questers, you suppose, especially in the new tribe zones. But it's not that much different than seeing people around in other expansion zones, to be honest. Interesting. Anya, I'm not cleaning my inventory today. I have so much to do. Oh, wow, what? I have to be level 74 to accept this. Hold on. Oh no. I've been spreading the XP around too much. Ah! Alright, Gunbreaker it is. Okay. Thancred and I have come across these ruined churches before. I wish I could have seen them before the flood. The windows were works of art, I'm told. I do not doubt this place may weather another assault by the Sin Eaters, but they cannot hope to hold it should the Ilmoran soldiers return. Even with their limited numbers, the guards can use the terrain to their advantage. Perhaps I can convince the captain to lay a few traps out in the field. Here, amidst these ruins, we will find the Church of the First Light, and within that hollowed hall the tablet we seek. Time is of the essence, my friend. Let us be quick. Uh-oh. A little faith. Urianger appears lost in thought. At the height of Lakeland's prosperity, these sites served not as man's final bastion, but as testament to his ingenuity and architectural prowess. The Church of the First Light was responsible for many such marvels, building majestic chapels in every corner of the realm. Alas, the flood, with its inexorable tides, would drown nigh everyone, and that did all but put an end to the religion as a whole. For the creatures which then did arise from that fulgent deluge were seen as agents of divine punishment, sent to devour sin and sinner both, whence came the name of Sin Eater. Okay, sure. The people were lost, seemingly forsaken by their god. Yet where there is light, there hath ever been shade, and 'twas in the dark they sought solace. The most devout of these worshippers of shadow did then migrate to the Rak'tika Greatwood, but that is a tale for another time. For now, let us find what remaineth of the chapel here. I mean, I would counter with people in Ishgard didn't think the dragons were sent by Alone to punish them for their crimes, but sure. Despite their architectural prowess, I can make neither head nor tail of anything in this place. You would think that the remnants of a church would be more conspicuous. Or, I don't know, maybe it was an actually good church and they didn't keep all of the offerings for themselves and instead distributed amongst the people. I mean, sure, but the Dravanians are hardly angelic in purpose. In appearance. No, fair. 'Twould be most unusual, but mayhap the hall was built below ground. There is a part of me that wonders, because you know how the Ascians come into our world and, like, convince the beast tribes to do shenanigans. There's a part of me that wonders, like, did the Ascians convince the people of the first to do what they've done? Like, is Emet Selch the reason why, or is there another intermediary? Good. Love that. Aye, this is indeed the church we seek. It's surprisingly intact. What little is left of the churches I've seen until now has always borne the scars of decades of disuse. Its subterranean construction hath done much to protect the hall from the ravages of time, yet the reason for its remarkable preservation may be deduced from its decoration. As faith in the light did wane, so rose reverence for the dark, and its followers did want for place of worship. To be plain, the standards which do adorn these walls do not belong to those who built them, but to the worshippers of the dark, the Knights Blessed, who subsequently migrated to Rak'tika. Is that right? Do you remember the lore from Heaven's Ward about the 13th? Yeah, that it was the void, I thought. That it had fallen to the darkness. Wait. Indeed. 'Twas beneath the shaded boughs of the Rak'tika Greatwood that they finally found sanctuary. It's been so long! It has been! I remember being so pissed at Ardbert. Oh god. Warrior of Darkness. Beneath the shaded boughs of Rak'tika Greatwood that they finally found sanctuary. So, Igurahim was sent to the 13th to cause the imbalance towards dark, but they failed to halt the darkness from overtaking the planet and consuming it, making it unsuitable for ritual. As such, she is then sent to help Lahabrea in the swords. Okay, but there's something about there being a specific number of Ascians that are allowed to be sent out. Also, Why then is the fact that so are we actually fucking up here? Are we actually did Solus fuck up? And so the first is too possessed of light for rejoining, and then he's actually having us kill all of the Light Wardens, or he's not stopping us from killing all of the Light Wardens, so that way a rejoining can happen anyways? And also, so does that mean the Void hasn't rejoined with the Source, or has it? Like, it seems like... You will maybe find out. Where is the Void? In the planar cosmology, where is the Void? Here is the map. Point to me where the Void is. Oh, man. Okay. I hate all of you. Oft and many times did Yulmore make spurious overtures of friendship unto them, but they are no fools. Solus playing 16-dimensional chess. I hate him. The 13th is lost to us. But what does that mean? And also, like, obviously the energy then is that each reflection that falls is due to the guidance of one of the Ascians. Obviously, each Ascian is factional because the one who claims to be the mediator, whose name I've already forgotten again, the white-robed Ascian, the emissary, seemed directly at odds with LaHee. She did not stand with LaHee during the Thordan fight. So is it that each one has a different, way that they do it? Because all of them still teach the beast tribes how to summon primals anyways. So they can't be that different. Factionally speaking, they're still on the same side, the side of summoning Zodiark. But, does that mean that, each one has a different reflection that they're, fiddling around with? And it's, the reason why there are a limited number of, Ascians allowed on the Source is actually because they don't want factional infighting? Or is it because of some sort of thing to do with their immortality or something? Anyways, fine. The Exarch knoweth full well that Y'shtola, in her seclusion, doth labor to learn all that she may of the blessed and their past. 'Tis why he sent us here, now I see. The tablet of which he spoke no doubt provideth a glimpse into the history that she so yearneth to comprehend. Well then, we'd better hurry up and find it. Or wouldn't it have been destroyed if this is the only stuff that remains? Hey, Presna. Can anyone tell me what this infernal tablet even looks like? No, I don't think so. Were the tablet a fragment of holy scripture, 'twould most assuredly rest here on this altar. Yet this would, I presume, also have been where the blessed placed the font of seeing used in the practice of their faith. Whither then would they have set the tablet? I can barely see my hand in front of my face. If only that torch were a little closer. Also, isn't it weird that they're blue lights? Isn't it supposed to be that red light, helps prevent you from being blinded by the darkness? This is that scene. Let's see. Search your surroundings for the tablet. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target an area and inspect it with left click. Alright. So we're gonna do this bit just once, because what Presna is talking about is actually... There's a couple of friends who do... you know... Do I want to know where it is? Now we'll figure it out organically. Okay, so he just says the same line. Okay. You know what? The bit is bad, actually. And I'm not going to do it. I've changed my mind. You always like clicking the NPCs? It is actually interesting that I can now get their dialogue outside of the game with this. Sure. A tablet of Holy Scripture that is counter to their faith. I don't know. They would destroy it? You just did one of the Namazu quests. You can accidentally miss your arrow. Uh-oh. I have... What? Why? Sure, fine. How would you even possibly... Sure. You have located the time-worn tablet. Fine. Spent about 30 minutes looking for that. Absurd. No, I appreciate the offer for help. It just turns out that I think like an idiot, just like Squeenix. Smile. Within the altar, thou sayest? Took Clary only about 2 minutes. Pizza was so drunk when they did it that it took them about 20 minutes. Hell yeah. I certainly hope this is what we were looking for. I mean, I will say, I have finally come around to the idea of, like, I think what makes Final Fantasy XIV so good is the fact that it is just so approachable from every possible angle. But what also makes Final Fantasy XIV sometimes kind of bad is that implicit, like, gamification, right? Is like, they wanted to avoid making it a walking simulator. So obviously it's not just go here, get the dialogue, go here, get the dialogue. But it's obviously not also just like, kill 10 million wolves and give me 5 pelts. So the fact that Final Fantasy XIV does this thing where it's like, shoot the sleeping darts, identify where this thing is. It's very silly, but like on the flip side, it is kind of fun to see how everyone interacts with it, so. How were you able to see in the dark? And inside the altar of all places? I wish I could say that I turned up the gamma on my monitor because that would have been way smarter, but no, I just got very incredibly lucky. Naught escapeth thine eye, 'twould seem. This is indeed the tablet we seek. Curious. These engravings predate the Knights Blessed. If I am not mistaken, they are written in the script of the ancient empire of Ronka, whose capital once stood in the midst of what is now Rak'tika. 'Twill be no small matter to decipher them. A fine gift for our seeker of truth. 'Tis plain the Exarch understandeth Y'shtola only too well. But come, let us quit this place and make ready for our journey into the woods. Into the woods we have to go. There is no time. But even so, into the woods to find Y'shtola. Should we not be going? We have a gift to deliver. Into the woods to kill the Light Warden. Bancred mentioned Y'shtola's passion for learning. I expect the tablet is just the sort of thing she'd like. You actually discussed this with some dupes, but sometimes you feel like there's a lot of self-insert moments or gamification, like you said, that ironically make me feel less immersed. For sure. I mean, again, that's what that sequence was. And then everyone being like, wow, good job, Warrior of Light. You saw into this dark shelf. I'm like, don't patronize me. Obviously, by design, it has to be visible. So the fact that all of the NPCs are like, wow, your eyeballs are really something else. Like, okay, cool. Like, don't patronize me. But obviously I can't just enjoy MSQ as a book. I get that. Oh, well, so this is something that I was thinking about today as well, is how many words annotated across all of the side quests, all of the beast tribes and everything, do you think were used to write the entire sequence? And then further than that, right? Because, like, if you think about each one as, like, maybe a chapter in a book, I'm sure it's quite a comprehensive tome, but further, obviously there's a ton of bad writing. There's plenty of bad writing, but it's also far more timely in its references than any novel that we would read. Like, I mean, I went back and I was rereading the Dresden Files, and I didn't realize before there was a reference to Friday by Rebecca Black, and like that pop culture reference has aged like a fine milk. Like, I just, like, if you don't know it, you would read that passage and you'd go, oh, that's weird. But like, because the MMO is releasing expansions, maybe similar to a new volume in a fantasy series or whatever, I wonder if there's something to be said for it being more able to react to modern developments. But also, you know, this is me just going off the deep end. Ellen, you were thinking the same thing? Hell yeah. Alice? Blue's Clues of Final Fantasy XIV. Hey Elish, can you tell us what color the red talisman is? Good job! Yeah, cool. Thanks, Squeenix. I appreciate it. Into the dark. Urianger is ready to leave, but not before first offering a piece of advice. Ere we depart, there is a custom of the Knights Blessed which I feel compelled to elucidate. As one might expect, they deem light to be abhorrent, and everything it touches befouled. Thus do they take the utmost pains to protect all they can from its taint, including their very names. Got bad news. Plants? They photosynthesize. I guess actually, wait, no, hold on. I guess the people of Rak'tika could just eat a shit ton of mushrooms. To speak plain, it is the belief of the blessed that one's own name must ne'er be uttered in the light of everlasting day, which is the reason why Y'shtola is referred to as Matoya in that scene. Sure, fine. You too put a lot of work to protect your taint. Yeah, House? Yet this commandment precludeth not the use of another's. Thus do parents protect their children, and in rare cases, masters their disciples. And so it is that Y'shtola hath taken the name of Master Matoya. Lest we offend them, I bid you not speak her true name in the blessed presence. What a terrible... What... I can't believe that's the explanation. With that in mind, let us speak with the guard who keepeth vigil at the Greatwood's border. That's the explanation? The reason why Y'shtola in the trailer is referred to as Master Matoya is because they adopt fake names in their weird cult religion? Sure, fine. Sure and fine. Plain telling me that people in glass houses aren't allowed to throw stones. I know. It's my intrinsically combative nature. You'll have to accept my apologies. What it is I'm angry because, again, right, like, the problem is that one of my first comparisons are those who slither in the dark from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, I get what they're doing. I get, oh, who's the good guy and the bad guy is all a matter of where you're looking at the battle lines. But, like, why you gotta diss my cool faith? Like, living underground for your entire life is not... Like, you need vitamin D. Like, food grows from light. Like, anyways. I've not even met them, and already this religion doesn't accept the blessings of Halone? Heretics. Actually, my god is Azema, the Warden, the Sun. So, actually claim, I think you'll find that the real reason why I hate them is they're not Belda, that totally existent city. They do get vitamin D. Vitamin Dark? No, Alice, please! No! It will be good to see Y'shtola again. I know I have no reason to, but I can't help feeling nervous about meeting Y'shtola. It's because everyone else knows what they're like around here, and you want Y'shtola to like you too, Minfilia. It's fine. Also, what is your real name? Can we go over that? Because you have to have a different name than Minfilia. I pray thee heed mine explanation of the Blessed's customs. 'Twould be ill-advised to provoke their ire. Sure, cool. Well met, traveler. What business brings you here? Yes, of course. Right this way.
No matter how far he goes, man cannot resist looking back on the path he has walked. The untold stories and secrets of the past can be more alluring than the promise of tomorrow. And so he braves the forests of Rak'tika in search of mystery and wonder. Of Ronka, to which all seekers of hidden truths are inevitably drawn.
I did think that opener... I understand what you guys mean.
We have arrived.
No, I haven't seen any of the... Any third-party material, for fear of spoilers, I've avoided for the most part, so yeah. Turn on mount music, and then get on and off a couple of times. We can do that.
Vast though these woods may be, they are, by and large, uninhabitable.
Oh, it's from the Fan Fest.
Not so
I haven't
the
seen any of
swamps
those,
Cydia,
yeah.
however, whose sparse foliage permitted man a foothold. No lands must remain beyond our grasp. Go forth, conquer, rule!
Forgive me. A sudden pang of nostalgia for those halcyon days. Exploring virgin territories, subjugating primitive peoples,
All for the glory of Garlemald.
If you've brought your ivory standard, I'll be happy to tell you where to stick it.
Can we not simply take a moment to enjoy the view together? Or would you rather I spied on you from the
I don't
shadow?
know. Did you just call all of the people of the Rak'tika Woods primitive peoples?
Much more of this, and I may very well begin to regret my show of good faith.
You are a jerk.
If you really want to stay, then help us fight.
Oh, Minfilia.
No, I think not. I am an observer, nothing more. Even shielded by the shadows of these boughs, I feel the light's presence most keenly. To accompany you is taxing enough. To fight is out of the question.
Okay. Is
I will suffer your
accompanying
company
us
if I must, but not your commentary.
is accompanying us taxing because Ascians are of Zodiark, which is the darkness, or because here's the problem. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, here is a part of the problem, is that we have been informed by LaHee that Hydaelyn is a parasite. I previously interpreted that to mean Hydaelyn is taking power away from Zodiark. Is Hydaelyn a parasite, like, literally? Like, does Hydaelyn need there to be, like, there's something weird here that I don't, like, I don't understand why there is so much light v dark iconography here, other than to prove the point about the Ascians, which makes me so uncomfortable. Because if you're gonna make that point already, just do it. Look at him taking on the Ascian Creed so well. I hate all of you. Wow, a villain being rude. Who would have thought? I'm allowed to dislike villains as well. Anya. Oh my god. I just feel like I'm losing my mind this expansion. Oh, I should have just let it finish. The real villain is Elish? Alright, okay. Alright, okay. What is it now? Do you expect me to regale you with friendly banter? Oh, very well. I will humor you this once. You may consider it my latest act of good faith. Come on, then. What do you wish to know? Why choose this form here in the first? Well, well, what a curious question. Mortal flesh is but the vessel into which we Ascians pour the elixir of our souls, molding it as fits the occasion, or not if we so choose. Minfilia enters into... So, the premise that we have been given is that all of the Oracles of Light look like Minfilia. Question 1. Is Minfilia accidentally turning babies into looking like her? Because, again, like, the babies aren't born with perfect blonde hair. Like, how do you know who the next Oracle of Light is? They have to mature to a certain extent. And if it is just that they look similar to her, is it that they're easier for her to inhabit? Or not, if we so choose. Be it for a year or a millennium, I prefer to retain the same form until my duty is done. But you've already caused a Rigil. You caused the 7th Umbral Calamity. You caused the 7th Calamity. So why isn't your duty done? They only have blonde hair and blue eyes. Okay. So, after arriving here in the first, I fashioned some hapless body into the man you see before me. I've got, like, a million problems with that statement, Emet Selch. Though, as your friends over there can attest, there are those of us who forego such alterations. He was ever the rash one, LaHee, jumping from vessel to vessel, never heeding the toll it took on him. What toll is that, though? Actually, never mind. I have like 1,000,001 questions. If you've nothing to ask me, why are you still here? Don't you have wardens to vanquish, a realm to save? That's the reference to LaHee inside of Thancred, of course, yeah. Yeah, and he never shaped Thancred. More, it's, what is the toll? Because the Sahagin shaman who the emissary taught to transfer, like, taught the secret of the echo or whatever, that Sahagin shaman suffered no ill consequences of possessing another Sahagin. So what toll could there possibly be? And, not Xenos. Yeah, Xenos. Xenos moves from body to body, suffering very few, if any, consequences. So, easier to take over a soulless body, I guess. Interesting. So Emet Selch could have taken over a corpse and not just? Because we have seen no instances thus far of the actual possession, except for Thancred, except for Xenos' situation. No, of course. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Can they take over corpses? If they can take over corpses, was Xenos forced out of his body, or was he killed? Because Thancred was trapped inside his body, but Xenos isn't. Is that just because Xenos has the echo, or is that... I give up. I hate everyone. If he never opened his mouth again, it would be too soon. Why is Thancred the only guy on my side? Thancred has told me of the Ascians and what they have done. If he isn't willing to help, is it wise to let him stay with us? Oh my god, this person's name is Pyranikos. Get me out of here. Eldavis did take control of Xenos' body, yes. Xenos has the artificial echo like Fordola. Okay, which they refer to as the resonance. But the reason why they know about the resonance is because of Emet Selch? But what that actually means, well, yeah. Dadcred's still mad about the La Habrea incident. Yeah, I should say so. I can imagine few things as horrifying as being a prisoner in your own meat suit. Our meat suits are eldritch abominations just by us being inside of them. Not being able to control the meat suit that you are inside of would be worse. The resonant are because of Cryle. Cryle told us it was her they were experimenting. But I thought they knew bits and pieces about it beforehand, because that scientist didn't do that first experiment on Fordola, surely. Fordola was not the first resonant, because we have all of those other guys in the facility. All of the hybrid boys, right? Fordola is just one of the most successful developments. My meat suit is defective. Can I trade it in for another? Transhumanism? A-okay. Transhuman prisonerism? Not A-okay. In the chamber full of pods. Yeah, because we do that dungeon where there are other pods. There are other experiments, right? But what about the LaHee incident? Get me out of here. Remember, something Zeno says, paraphrases, if you knew the true power of the Echo, and that is when he takes over Shinryu. I do remember that. True. Okay, anyways. 'Tis plain our Ascian counterpart meaneth to follow wheresoever we lead. Were it otherwise, he would not suffer the overabundance of light in these woods. Because all of the Ascians are darkness aspected? Why is this overly taxing on him than anyone else? Also. Not Ardbert. I wanted to say Aardvark. That's not right either. Guy with white paint, white scar on face. I accused him of being a bastard son of the King of Alamigo because I was expecting there to be some horseshit on him. He's kind of friends with Fordola now. He has the Echo. What is his name? Ehrenwald. Does Ehrenwald genuinely have the Echo then? You explained that. It's the heightened Aether not in the region, not the type of Aether. Oh, right. No, you did say that earlier. I just needed to be reminded, my bad. Okay. Yeah, I, in my frantic screaming, was like, is Ehrenwald going to turn out to be the bastard son of the King of Alamigo? Is he taking us into the dungeons underneath the city to, like, kill us so that way he can try and throw a coup? Because I just had such low expectations for the writers at that point. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was just a cool dungeon with treasure. Verily, it pervadeth every corner, and so long as the Light Warden remaineth, the Sin-Eaters shall be free to prey upon these lands without surcease. If naught is done, 'tis but a matter of time before the Blessed succumb. Yeah. 2 years past, a swarm of Sin-Eaters did lay waste unto their largest settlement, killing a great many of their priests in so doing. Though some few did survive, they knew not how to go on, wayward souls in want of some guiding hand. For a mercy, Y'shtola hath provided that which they sorely needed. They have since endeavored to restore their home, and thither shall we bend our steps, to Fort Gone. Also, though, I've just been having weird moments of, like, cognitive dissonance in general. I don't need undyed linen. Sure. Just because I have been having some problem recently with, like, ugh. I was talking with some friends a while ago about Shinzo Abe, and we, like, went down this really big rabbit hole of, like, why certain faiths and belief systems develop in certain regions, and there has been a lot of, like, recent stuff specifically about intelligence agencies like reviving or sponsoring certain schools of thought, which made me very uncomfortable recently. But yeah. I need to do something super fast that I was asked to do, which is play music when mounted. Because someone asked me to get on and off my mount multiple times. Okay, I guess I need to stay on my mount for a little bit longer. Hey, Bo. Did they fix the music for this zone, maybe? Yeah, because, yeah, I'm absolutely not hearing it. Actually, I'm wondering if I can just leave combat music on, though. Dang. I will never understand the LaHee meme. Just another thing I miss out on from being so far behind. Very sad. I'll never understand your LaHee memes. Well, where is this friend of yours we've come to meet? We both know how Urianger enjoys painting pictures with his words, but he did not exaggerate about this place. Go watch the Sonkin meme, then I'll understand. Fair enough. Urianger said they were rebuilding, but there's no one here. And then we just let him keep hanging out with us?
I see little sign of recent activity.
Sure.
Nor hath any meaningful progress been made with the reconstruction. Mayhap Y'shtola sought shelter elsewhere. Come, let us quit this place.
Urianger, you were the one who told us not to use her name in the light. I guess technically you're under shadow there.
No!
Oh!
Surround them!
Sure.
These senators, they're not like the others.
There's a reason for that. Lower your weapons, please. We mean you no harm.
How is it they can speak?
It's a Sin Eater trick. They mean to kill us all.
Interesting. We have to, right? We have to. Kupo?
That will seem a lot less amusing when we are forced to kill.
No! It was perfect, Fancred. Oh, God.
Oh, for the love of... I had hoped that by accompanying you, we might come to understand one another. But all I have come to understand is that you have a knack for inflaming the natives.
Oh, yeah, because you've never
committed
done
the
that.
cardinal sin of boring me. And so I retire to the shade. Good luck.
And then because he does his Ascian teleportation thing, it's darkness aspected. Will they see that?
Did you see that one disappear?
No, of course not.
I think I preferred La Habrea.
Enough. Runar, report.
Master Matoya!
Okay.
We apprehended them as you ordered, but... are you certain these are Sin Eaters?
The intense light of the ether I saw was unmistakable. If not Sin Eaters, then what?
'Tis passing queer that Y'shtola should mistake us for the enemy, is it not? Mayhap it hath been too long since last she beheld the radiance of thine ether.
Or maybe we do have
Master
too much
Matoya,
light ether.
Hath time truly made strangers of us?
Nay, I recognize you, Urianger, Thancred. And this is Minfilia of the First, of whom you spoke before.
It's...
Just so. And knowing as thou must that we come in peace, might I prevail upon thee to have thy comrades lower their arms?
Because we have too much light aether inside of us from the Light
First
Wardens?
explain this other presence in your company. The one I know not.
And because
there is
she
but
can't
one
see,
manner
she
of
can
creature
only
in this
see...
world whose ether is suffused with such an abundance
She can only
of light.
see through the aether, right? She senses aether directly.
Mine apologies, Master Matoya, but thou art mistaken. Before thee standeth our dearest comrade, the truest hero among us. Though he is but recently arrived here in the First, not one but 2 Light Wardens have already perished by his most puissant hand.
It cannot be.
It's been too long, clearly. Nice to see you too, Master Matoya. Has a little bit of a biting edge to it. You truly thought me a Sin Eater. You know what? I think in this situation... Did he just call you a fish? Puissant? I don't know. You think nice to see you too, Master Matoya? You know what? Fair enough. There's a little bit here that I think could be done, sure.
Master Matoya?
Lower your weapons. Forgive us this hostile welcome. Come. I would give you a proper introduction to Rak'tika and its people.
Because her being able to see where the Light Wardens are is a powerful tool and made her very important very fast, hey? That ended a lot better than it might have. No thanks to Emet Selch. I didn't expect her to be so imposing in person. That she might imagine him a stranger. I don't know why. Oh, I do know why it didn't let me, because I was in a menu. You have been busy since arriving in the First, I gather, but I would hear the tales of your travails in more suitable surroundings. With Fort Gone yet to be built, yet to be rebuilt, the Knights Blessed have made their home in a settlement to the northwest. I will await you at its entrance. Follow the path through yonder gate, and you will find me soon enough. Sure. Let's rock and roll. Also, this fort is the one you see Urianger and Stola in the trailer that is being burned down. Ah, I see, I see. There you are. I was beginning to worry. Much like the Twelves would, this forest has a way of dealing with those who stray too far from the beaten path. Does Rak'tika have elementals? But I digress. Let me show you the home of the Knight's Blessing. Have you ever seen such a tree? To think these are only the roots. Yeah, Minfilia, have you ever heard of an Erd tree smile? Finally, a place to rest. To make their home here, and so swiftly, would surely have required no small amount of ingenuity. A most impressive feat, wouldst thou not agree? Sure.
Slitherbough is the largest of the Blessed Settlements. They worship no gods, instead revering darkness itself. It is a curious kind of faith, but one which has granted them the strength to persevere in the wake of the flood. I hope you weren't expecting a grand feast by way of welcome. They are a simple people. Now, I would hear of your travels away from prying ears. Come. I see. And now you seek the Light Warden of Rak'tika. In the days after I arrived in the First, I too relied upon the Crystal Exarch for guidance. But his penchant for secrecy and the telling of half-truths soon lost him my trust. And thus did I strike out on my own.
Sensible. You have to work.
My work eventually led me here to the forest.
Thanks for hanging out as long as you
which
could.
I've come to know like
Again,
the back
all
of
of the
my
VODs
hand.
will be uploaded onto YouTube.
I cannot say with certainty where
no
your
stress.
quarry is hiding, but I am confident I can narrow the search.
Well, go on then.
Hey, Cass.
Some few thousand years ago, this forest stood at the heart of the Empire of Ronka. A great many relics of that civilization can still be found to the east in Ixmaya. Or rather, could be found, were the area not fiercely guarded. Ixmaya, you see, is home to a tribe of warriors whose lineage is said to date back to the time of the Empire. Any attempt to enter their territory is met with lethal force. They offer no warnings, and suffer no trespasser to escape.
Damn those heels,
Needless
though.
to say,
Hello?
my every attempt to survey the area has been thwarted.
Mayhap the Warden hideth there, full knowing none may approach it for fear of these protectors.
As for the tablet, I find the timing of its discovery suspiciously convenient. If I did not know better, I would think someone was trying to curry favor with me. Regardless, it will take time to decipher these writings. Yet I would not be at all surprised if they somehow held the key to entering Ixmaya unmolested. The Exarch has a nose for serendipity.
If there is aught I can do to assist thee in unraveling their secrets, thou needst only ask.
Thank you, Urianger. I may well take you up on that offer. While we set to work, might I suggest you take a tour of the city? Should you be in any doubt as to the importance of your role as the Warrior of Darkness, the people here will surely cure you of it.
I must say, Stola, while most of us have struggled to come to terms with our altered circumstances, you seem to have adapted rather well.
Hasn't she been here the longest?
Lest you forget, Master Matoya and I dedicated our lives to uncovering the truth which hides at the heart of our world. Though separate, the fate of this reflection is nevertheless bound to that of our home. That I would be daunted by such an invaluable opportunity is absurd. But what of you, Thancred? Could it be that you are still struggling to come to terms with the nature of your young companion?
What?
My struggles are none of your concern. Quite why you would speak thus and in this company, I do not know. Perhaps you left more of yourself back in the source than I assumed. If you'll excuse me.
He understands that I'm not the same. That I'm not her.
Understands, perhaps, but does not accept. The question being whether he ever will. And whether you will, more importantly. As difficult as your circumstances may be, they are yours, not his. 'Tis you and you alone who bears ultimate responsibility for your life.
I mean, it's true.
But you need not make any hard choices now. Why not go and get some fresh air, clear your head?
I would counter with what are the options that oh no. Hold on a second. I would counter with what are the options that are currently available. Don't worry about it. In terms of I need a merchant, please. What are the options that are available in terms of what Thancred wants, basically? Oh no, is there no merchant here? Woof. Okay. What are the options in terms of what Thancred wants? Option number one. Option number one. Nah, I'm good. Thank you, though. I appreciate the offer. Option number one is Thancred gets what he wants, and this Minfilia dies, basically. Option number two is this Minfilia stays, and Thancred actively suffers for the rest of all time. No, there wasn't a merchant out there as far as I can tell. It's only the Mender, right? I wish I'd never... Oh boy, girl, don't finish that one. When Y'shtola first arrived in the First, she made quick work of the Cabinet of Curiosity. Her thirst yet unsated, she then journeyed hither, seeking the wisdom of Ronka. She found little in the way of welcome from the Blessed, however, 'Twas not until the Great Fire, where she denied the Sin Eaters a feast of Aether, that she gained their trust. The thing we saw in the cutscene. Since then I have served as a liaison twixt Slitherbow and the Crystarium, that she might be kept abreast of the others' efforts. A day in the neighborhood. Y'shtola is staring off into the distance, lost in thought. I am not indifferent to Thancred's troubles. Nevertheless, I will not apologize for holding him to a higher standard after all these years. He has ever been a man of considerable resolve, and that is what I will continue to expect. Though it heartens me to know that some of us remain ourselves in spite of our present circumstances. You mean not you, because you thought I was a Sin Eater? I can but imagine how Alice and Alphino have changed since arriving here in the first. Change is a part of life. We can but hope it's a change for the better. Perhaps you should be concerned with how you have changed. Oh no! That's what I literally just said. I have to do it. Perhaps you should be concerned with how you have changed. Yeah. I realize I am not as I was on the source, but I cannot say I regret the decisions that allowed me to come this far. Sure, fine. Returning to the matter at hand, I really must begin to work on deciphering this tablet. In the meantime, perhaps you should take a look about Slitherbow. If there is anything you need, pray speak with Runar at the plaza. Oh, that's right, I forgot to attune to the Aether. And also, is this Old Gridania? Is this the Sanctum, Is this just the Tree of the Conjurers Guild? To which obviously there are differences. This area has more spokes. But the similarity, it's Old Gridania twisted on its side, yeah. Okay. I've instructed Runar to help you with anything you should require. Yep, dialogue is the same, so let's go ahead and rock and roll. This is the Gridania part, yeah. Heck yeah. I'm wondering if there's anywhere else that does that. Easy example being... No, because Coerthis, because Ishgard is literally just the part of that one map. So Ilmeg would be wild. I don't know that we'd find any comparison there. We don't have all the map of Kaluja yet. Yeah, and there's nothing else that I can see. Kaluja kind of does, because Limsa is off the coast. Valid. The fact that they are both islands is an interesting development, I think, right? Sure. And there is an upper and lower Lanasha. True. Welcome, friend, welcome. My apologies for our less than hospitable greeting earlier. Tell me, what is your name? From where do you hail? Hello? From the Crystarium, I see. And this tablet you've brought may help us find the Light Warden here in Rak'tika? Warrior of Darkness, more like massive nerd, am I right? How dare you? Well, you are welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Come, let me show you around. Would it be alright if I joined you? Of course, of course. Anything for the guests of our dear Master Matoya. Thank you. She means a great deal to the Knights Blessed, doesn't she? If not for her, we may have all perished in the Great Fire. Would the fire have been because of someone lighting it, like the Yulmorans? Or would the fire have been actually instigated by the Sin Eaters? Because if they lit a fire to the wooden walls of Fort Gone, then that implies a certain degree of intelligence that I don't think the Sin Eaters have displayed thus far. Like, even the Light Wardens, like, with King Titania being an exception, even the Light Wardens don't strike me as that intelligent. Philia seemed kind of stupid. Other than being the Nexi for where all of the Light Wardens are sort of orbiting. They don't seem to strike me as any degree of intelligence. Anyways, sorry. With our priests slain and our home in ruins, we were at the mercy of the Sin Eaters. It was she who drove them back, and with her sage guidance, we were able to rebuild. Before long, she became a central figure in our community, a great oak within whose shadow many have come to find solace. A broken clock is right twice a day, keep in mind. Well, fair enough. That is not to say there are not those hesitant to grant an outsider such authority, myself included. Perhaps it is in the smile in her eyes when she speaks of the sunless sea. I feel whole again, now that she is with us, and I have no doubt the others feel the same. Sunless Sea, out now from the creators of Fallen London and Sunless Skies. She is as much a part of the Knights Blessed as any of us, and we are grateful for all she does in service to the dark. Oh yeah, he's crushing on her. But you did not hear this from me, yes? Now, you should know there are certain customs we ask guests to adhere to so long as they reside within Slitherbone. To show reverence to the dark? In a word, yes, but fear not, it is not too involved. Let us begin with something simple. Follow me. Speaks like the Khajiit. I don't know how to speak like the Khajiit. I'll have to go listen to them again sometime. I thought Master Matoya kept her room dark because she didn't need the light, but they're all like hers, aren't they? Should you see any people come to this chamber, they have likely returned from a journey beyond the borders of Rak'tika. We use the water stored here to cleanse ourselves of the light's impurity. A simple and perhaps peculiar custom, but it is one of our most important. Would you two kneel for just a moment, that I might rid you of the light's impurity? Sarah, hey. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. We're just meeting with Runar and the Blessed of the Night for the first time. Sure. How am I liking Shadows so far? That face should tell you everything you need. Yeah, how was Monster Hunter Rise? I was gonna say Monster Hunter World, but that was wrong. Yeah, in case you guys do not know already, our delightful Crossroads Sarah, they stream on Wednesday, Monster Hunter Wednesday. So go and drop him a follow if you haven't already. As Runar lightly sprays you with water, your skin begins to tingle. Because we have too much light aether inside of us? And with that, you have been cleansed of the light's blighted touch. How do you feel? I'm not sure, to be honest. Not refreshed exactly, but I do feel different. Has this water been treated in some way? No, the water's just cold. Hell yeah. Only blessed by our priests. They are practiced in the arcane arts. As such, it is said their prayers imbue the water with a faint, dark energy. It was pretty chill. You were pretty tired today, so it was a low-energy stream, but folks seem to enjoy it. Hell yeah. Sometimes some of the best streams are the low-energy ones, for sure, for sure. Just because also you get to recharge as well. A prickling sensation? No one has ever spoken of such a reaction before. I'm deathly allergic to water that's been in the dark for a while. I wouldn't say it was an unpleasant sensation, but I too felt something strange. The dark aspect of this water should have no discernible effect, unless... By the gods! Master Matoya was right. You are sin-eaters. I jest. What you felt was likely no more than the chill of the water. Yeah? Yeah, Clary? Is it the water just cold? Man, you love Shadow's story. You need to replay it sometime. I'm resistant. I don't know if they keep referring to us as the Warrior of Darkness from now on, but I'm not the world's biggest fan of it. Smile. Raven. I'm still really early in? Yeah. We've been streaming MSQ every day last week, and we're probably going to do every day this week, but going forwards, I probably need to adjust the schedule somewhat. Perhaps now would be a good time for you to acquaint yourselves with the people of Slitherbound. For that, I must teach you a customary greeting. It's the one where we, like, put our hands in front of our eyes or whatever. Oh no. Alan Tuta. In the language of Ronka, it is one of several ways we might say good evening. The world is not as safe as it once was, and this greeting lets us quickly discern friend from foe. Is there a handshake or gesture we should know too? I would hate to offend anyone. You need not worry. Merely speak the words Alan Tuta and they will know you as friends of the Blessed. I await your return here. Now go. They are like to be heartened by your knowledge of our ways. With the chat mode in Say, enter Alan Tuta to greet the villagers of Slitherbound. Cass is, by being ironic, directly representing my problem with, directly representing my problem with, Shadowbringers. Hey, Soju. This is my erstwhile boss sometimes. And Soju says, hi, Clarice. So there you go. Minfilia is such a great character. I already feel it. Oh, what was that? What the heck? I was saying something else, and I instantly forgot it. Oh yeah. Oh, Miniphilia is such a great character. Yes, that's actually a nice distinction, I think. Oh yeah. Alan Tuta. I have to not capitalize the first A, huh? Sure. Miniphilia. Hell yeah. I'm... The elderly woman smiles warm. Aww. Oh, did I drink the darkness water? Sorry, Clane. I somehow missed your message in the entire thing of it. I think maybe my chat isn't updating in real time. You were getting some food? Yeah. Our skin prickled at the touch of the darkness aspected water, which I have been informed is just because the water is cold. So, you know. But yeah, also, it's good to see you, Soju. Thanks for hanging out. Well, the Warrior of Darkness name is what they're gonna call you in the first. It screams against everything inside of my entire soul. I've no business with strangers. Ah, a newly come traveler. Alan Chisi, and welcome to Sliversbow. You must forgive me if we seem strangely reserved. We are a quiet and taciturn people. Silent and serene as the sunless sea, the quiet makes it easy to discern the presence of eaters and other dangers here in the woods. Valid, actually. Okay, I'm sure nothing bad will come of that. That was my interpretation as well. Warrior of Light obviously just has a poor rep in the first, given the state of the world. It's true. Hey, Baylights. We are just doing some Shadowbringers MSQ. It's not like you're actually a warrior of Zodiark or something. It's just a title they give you. I hate, and you know I hate that you put it that way, Seraph, because that doesn't sound sincere. You know that's one of the things that I'm worried about, Seraph. That ambient dialogue was very funny, actually. Wait. What? That was 100% sincere, though. Are we the bad guys? That's my worry. Away with you. Alan Chisi, welcome, friend. I take it you will remain in these woods for some time, yes? Be wary of these woods. You will find poison in near everything you see. But fear not, our medicinal tea will keep you healthy. Ask and it is yours. Okay. Can I have some medicine, please? Like, why do I... Oh, I guess technically you guys probably have limited resources. The Asians, as it turns out, did nothing wrong. I would definitely not go so far as to say that. You would quell my fears, but spoilers. Tea sounds good right about now? It does sound pretty good. I hope your stroll about Slitherbow proved enlightening. Yeah, pretty much. Everyone was so kind and gracious. I was nervous at first, but already I'm starting to feel at home. There's still much we need to learn about the Knights Blessed, but their faith and strength of will is nothing short of inspiring. We have met Emet, and I am not a fan of him either. I can see now how they've built such a thriving community. Emet Selch is a... Oh, I do not like him. A helping hand. Judging by the glint in Runar's eye, there is more for you to learn about Slitherbow. Ah, you are returned. Very good. Yeah, the voice actor... Okay, the voice actor did a great job, and here's the thing. Once you set aside the larger narrative level, and you just take him at face value, sure, cool, he's great. He did found the Garlean Empire explicitly to be a bunch of racist, fascist assholes, because, and then according to Emet Selch in the Stormblood post-content, He intentionally did not create a line of secession, so that way, when he died, the entire empire of racist fascists that he made would then fight a civil war and start killing themselves. Like, Emet Selch has done nothing to make me like him so far. He's an asshole. Ah, you are returned. Very good. No doubt they were glad of your company. It has been too long since we have had visitors. Remember, if you have any questions, or there is anything you need, do not hesitate to ask. Fair enough, you won't deny his sins? It's the exact same thing as Xenos. Everyone who's like, you're gonna love Xenos? Okay, listen, I have my proclivities. Does Xenos meet some of those proclivities? Yes. He is also still a bad dude. Speaking of which, we must arrange food and lodgings for your stay. As friends of Master Matoya, we cannot ask for payment, but if you would be willing to lend a hand... Oh, Xenos and Emet are very different? Totally valid, but everyone who's like, how can you hate Xenos? He's so thick. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's got a nice butt. I hate lots of people with nice butts. It would be my pleasure. Smile. We are fortunate indeed to play host to such generous souls. The task I have in mind is simple enough. Listen! Listen! It's different! Because if Thornton the First was still around, it'd be a dramatically different story. Although you do find out in the Scholasticate questline that it is a little bit less different. Ishgard did know the whole time, but it's complicated because they had a very exhaustive censorship bureau. It is different when it's Ishgard, because Ishgard is a civilization of people who die and then have children. Emet Selch is the same Emet Selch as was Emet Selch. You do not get to pretend that it is the same situation. It's not Listen, Emet Selch is an immortal being who is the same person who did the first crime as did the last crime. Ishgard is an entire city of people. It's different. It's almost like censorship equals bad. We won't talk about the holy body, but Ishgard is complicated. Because other places can't have their problems. I'm not saying the first is the problem. I'm saying Emet Selch is the problem. And Emet Selch is not a place. He's a person. Thornton was a primal. Yeah, a primal who was summoned and is not indicative of what the first Thornton was like. We know that the primals that are summoned are more reflections of the followers than they are of the people themselves. The leader of Ishgard is the son of the primal. Thornton the Sixth is not biologically related to Thornton the First. They accept names based off of their ascension to the head of the ecclesiarchy. Second of all, just because Everett is the son of Thornton the Sixth does not make him like racism isn't inherited by blood. It's a learned behavior. Sounds like I'm the problem? Get out. You're coming into a full-blown rant mode. We're having a lot of disagreements, Fafnir. It's good to see you, though. You're waiting for the lore book to come out. There are plenty of lore books about Final Fantasy XIV already. So it's allowed to be gray now, huh? How about all those fascists being brainwashed, maybe? Propaganda? No! To give me an instance of a Garlean, and I am including Gaius in this, give me a single instance of a Garlean who was like, hey, maybe what we're doing is wrong, bud. Blind bias? No! Maxima is the singular Garlean. Okay. Forgive me. And Sid, who was then... Lucia's also a good example. Greg is not an example. But, okay. But none of those people have... Okay. None of those people are Emet Selch, which is the point that I am raising here, which is that Emet Selch would be as if Thornton the First was still hanging around. When Gaius was also horribly racist, do not even pretend. You're pretty sure Maximus's whole faction are like, this is wrong? Right. I am being strawmanned live. I am, literally my point is that Emet Selch is the first emperor of the Garlean Empire. Emet Selch is the thing that I do not like here. I am allowed to not like Emet Selch. He can't redeem himself? He has to do a lot of redeeming. Like, he has to do an incredible amount of redeeming. People can change. The entire Stormblood thing was, he was like, this is all according to my plan. And also, he wasn't gone for forever. He was gone for like 60 years. He's trying something new. Okay, alright. Where I am in the story right now, he has not redeemed himself yet. Allow Emet to redeem himself. I will if something happens. Right now, no. Look, the more people who hate Emet, the more I get him to myself. Sure, you guys can all enjoy him. He is yours, just like Xenos is yours. Have at him. He hasn't done anything against you, except help. He hasn't helped either! Wait, what has he done? He has showed up, he's been smug, and he's teleported away. He has done nothing. He's very helpful. Oh, boy. Maybe the Garleans should conquer Ishgard. I'd like to see them try. We are fortunate enough to play host to such generous souls. The task I have in mind is simple enough. How much will it cost to play Final Fantasy 13? However much the game is. I don't think I have 13. Yes, he has. Given you info and offered all he can. He has given us no... I'm not engaging with chat anymore. You need to send me a couple of pictures. Do it. If you are in our Discord, you can send it through live show discussion. I also just, you can probably find me through Juzo's Discord, so yeah. Being smug is helping, obviously. Show up, be smug, refuse to elaborate, leave. And that's helpful. Check my blood pressure. My blood pressure is 420/69 because of you people. All I ask is that you take a jug and water the crops in the square. Bold of me to assume that you're in Juzo's Discord. What's a Discord? I feel like you might be the only... No, that's not true. You're one of the few people that I know who play Final Fantasy XIV who's not already on Discord. I have a Twitter? Calm down indeed. Hashtag Emet did nothing wrong. Clane? You know that is categorically untrue! I don't have inventory problems in 13. Fair enough. Oh, bold of you to assume I'm in Juzo's Discord. What's a Juzo? Is that bold of me to assume? Is that bold of me to assume? Because I feel like there is only one person that you can be. Otherwise, I will be very confused. Alright, we're gonna keep... Here's the thing. Is there a world in which Emet Selch could redeem himself? Sure. But the Ascians' casual disregard for the lives of the bodies that they inhabit cannot make them any, the fact that they try and distend themselves from humanity or from mortals or whatever you want to call it, by virtue of that feeling of superiority, makes them think that they aren't governed by the same rules and morals that we are, which intrinsically makes them bad people. Your name is Fafnir. Fair enough. Forgive me. I'm not appreciating or respecting the in-character and out-of-character separation. May I help too? Of course. One of you can do the filling, the other the water. Speak with Ursabel when you have finished. She will be relieved to hear the crops have been tended to. I don't know what that means, Clane. While you take care of that, I will see to your room and a warm meal. Right then. I'll fill, you water. I didn't realize it would make me exit in first-person mode. Okay, goodbye. All I'm saying... is that I still haven't attuned to this aetherite. I forgot to grab something in here. Listen. It's fine. This was the only jug I could find which was small enough to lift, but I'm afraid there's a crack in the bottom. You'll need to hurry to the garden before all the water leaks out. Take the jug of water to the square before the contents leak out. This will be funny to rewatch while at work tomorrow. I don't even remember what this clip is. Like, the fact that they try and distend themselves from humanity or from immortals or whatever you want to call it, by virtue of that feeling of superiority, makes them think that they aren't governed by the same rules and morals that we are, which intrinsically makes them bad people. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's a lukewarm take. Like, wait, why is that a hot take? Anyways, I hate it here. You have 45 seconds to complete the task. Should you fail, return to Minfilia and try again. I don't understand. I don't understand why that's a hot take. This is almost as good as the sandwich debate. Get me out of here. Why are you people like this? You have watered half of the plot. Fetch another jug of water to take care of the rest. This is nothing. Hold on. We're your personal trolls, that's why. Oh, you should call me a bridge. Was there enough water for the plot? I mean, technically, they all operate under different morals because they have magic to make things easier and can also summon their gods. Only half? I see. Well, let me refill the jug for you. Take another jug of water to the square before the contents leak out. Sure. Cool. The Warrior of Light lives under a different set of morals and behavior. Intrinsically bad, yes! And I don't think there is anything... Listen. Oh wait, the Warrior of Light lives under a different set of morals and behavior. No, the Warrior of Light fundamentally respects not only each individual region's cultures, but also all of their different moral systems. Because this is the thing, is that if we did not believe in the same moral network as every other person in the source, then why are we doing the things that we do? Warrior of Light equals an Ascian confirmed. There's something weird about what they're doing with Minfilia and the Oracle of Light. Like, there is something about us being, like, the Hydaelyn version of Ascians. The whole plot has now been thoroughly won. Oh... You don't think the Warrior of Light can even read? That would not surprise me. At least yours can't. I don't know if... Further elucidate me on that plane. Well met, travelers. I observed you earlier speaking with the others. Have you need of something? You watered the crops. My apologies for not noticing sooner. I have been rather distracted of late. Watering the crops was always Tadia's duty, but she is no longer with us. We have since taken to sharing the duty, though never with guests. You are most kind. Is there anything else we can do to help? We could plant something if you like. There is no need. The plot is small, it is true, but it provides us with enough to survive. We ask for no more. I don't know how you manage. Have the Blessed not considered leaving? Life would surely be easier almost anywhere else. I can understand why you might say that, but the easiest path is not always the right one. Tell me, do you know our history? How our faith came to be? Yes, I believe so. The Knights Blessed was initially formed by those who lost their homes in the wake of the flood. What began as an occasional gathering of survivors eventually grew into a community, which ultimately decided to strike out on its own in the Rak'tika Greatwood. The Knights Blessed. That's because our brain is rotted through by 40k. I see you have read your history. But there is a history that is told, and one that is lived. Like so many in those times, the first of the Knights Blessed lost everything. Their homes, their loved ones, all they held dear. To make matters worse, none could say what became of the souls of those lost to the flood when their bodies were reborn as sin eaters. The people were without answers, without hope, their gods having drowned along with everything else. It seemed that nothing was beyond the reach of the light. But soon they realized where there is light, there must be darkness. And in that truth, they found new faith, a belief that the souls of the departed could yet find peace beyond these burning skies, in the sunless sea above. That is why we pray, for the safe passage of wayward souls unto that blessed black abyss, for the return of the night, that we may someday look upon the kingdom of heaven with our own eyes. We remain in these woods for the self-same reasons our founders first chose them, that we may lead lives of simplicity, with the shade of these trees as a constant reminder of our faith. With so many seeking paradise in Yulmore, it's refreshing to find people who value a humbler existence. You are kind to say so. Many consider our way of life foolish, and so it must seem to those who yet cling to their worldly possessions. In times such as these, when everything can be taken away in an instant, it is all too easy to lose sight of why we fight to go on living. It is not to hold fast to material things, but to hold those who went before us in our hearts, to keep alive the legacy they have left us. This we must do for them, our children, and generations yet unborn. To keep their legacy alive. I said what I said, and it was not that. Also, very quickly going back, has every city-state not just pointed the warrior of light in the evil in the way? The Scions, the Exarch. Yes, they have. But the point is that objectively, right, when you're looking at the situation in each one of those instances, people who are being attacked are not the people who should be angry, right? Like, I get it. The Beast Tribes are being oppressed. The Amalja, the Sahagin, right? Those are their ancestral lands, and they're being pushed out of the way. Fine. I concede on that point. It is a 100% valid point. But the thing that I would argue is not irreversible, the thing that is a fact, is that the primals are not gods in the traditional sense. The primals do not exist separate of the people who are summoning them, and they are being summoned almost explicitly for the purposes of genocide. Because at no point in time is there a consideration for children or anything like that. And again, I would raise the point now that the city-states have what they want. They are content with sitting there, and that is the difference. But I would argue that the fact that the primals are summoned for the explicit purpose of destruction is quite problematic, right? Rama and the Warrior of Light have a very different relationship, because Rama explicitly not only challenges the Warrior of Light, but consents to his destruction if the Warrior of Light will protect the people of, well, specifically the Sylphs, but also protect the woods, right? The thingy. Like, Rama specifically raises it as, you are strong enough. I can now rest. So there are exceptions. Consent is a very important part of these things. Like, this is the thing, is that, like, if the Garlean Empire had rolled up and was like, hey, do you consent to being subjected to a larger empire with greater strength, and the entire premise is that we are helping people, I would not be angry at the Garlean Empire. But the Garlean Empire didn't do that. The Garlean Empire came in, killed a bunch of people, instituted what was ostensibly going to be some sort of greater... The entire premise has always been uplifting the people, teaching them new and better ways, and then it didn't do that because it gave them false access to citizenship in the Garlean Empire, which didn't give them any of the rights or protections of the citizens. It is... The Garlean Empire functions in much the same way that Yulmore does. He was there to protect the Greatswood, and gave that duty to you once you proved you were strong enough. Which at least we have done a better job of adhering to that than the Garlean Empire has protecting Garlean citizens. And I don't think that's a hot take either. Bo, don't look at me like that. Also, I'm so sorry, Anya. You're doing D&D time. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. Service guarantees citizenship. Get me out of here. Lost but not forgotten. Runar has more work to be done. Done tending to the crops already? But Cass, the Garlean Empire was made to fail by Emet Selch's own omission. Literally, the Garlean Empire was made to start collapsing and raise up individuals to fight and also defeat the Garlean Empire. By his own, the architect of the Garlean Empire made the Garlean Empire to make terrorists. This is exactly what the architect of the Garlean Empire wanted. So the Empire works then. Yes, it works at making the things that you just called the enemies of the states. This is... I cannot believe we are running around in circles. Emet Selch is a bad person for making the Garlean Empire. Past performance is not an indicator of future results. He might pleasantly surprise me in the future. Gridania is pretty racist. You're not wrong, Claim. Very good. It should not be long before your room is ready. Runar. In the woods. Sin Eaters. I fear they may have the touch. Where? In the grove to the southwest. For a mercy, they've yet to wander any closer to Slitherbow. All the main cities are racist. Although I will say, there is something very awkward about the Ishgardian noble houses tracing their lineage back to the original four, which makes it very easy to identify who would transform into a dragon if they drink dragon's blood, but I'm into it. There are bad guys there. I would argue that Merylweb, when she took the lands from the Sahagin and broke the agreements and the treaties that they made with the Beast Tribes, I would argue that Merylweb was a bad person. I would argue that it is only through her attempts at restitution, at finding common ground, at admitting fault on behalf of Limsa Lominsa, at trying to deal with the pirates who are still attacking and enslaving the Sahagin. It is through a long and laborious road of improvement that Merylweb turns into a good person. I do not think Emet Selch, by going, oh, look at, oh, some of us prefer our original forms. That is not it is nothing. Emet Selch has done nothing for us so far. He can do things for us in the future, but right now, I am perfectly justified hating his smug face. Ugh. Then we have no need to engage. Inform the guard that no one is to set foot outside the village until they have moved on. Queeg, open your mind. But, sir, what of Tadia's heartstone? It must be retrieved before the service. Of all the times for Sin Eaters to appear. Are you just going to leave them alone? Under normal circumstances, I would not hesitate in striking the beasts down. But if they indeed have the touch, I will not risk them corrupting one of our own. What was that you said about a stone? A few days passed. Tadia, a child of the Knights Blessed, was slain by the Sin Eaters. Excuse me. We succeeded in retrieving her body, but in our haste, we failed to notice her necklace was gone. Strung to it was a pendant of jade, her heartstone. All of the Knights Blessed are given such a stone at birth. It is the most valuable possession one can own. Are the heartstones like soulstones? It is custom to present the heartstone of the deceased at their funeral as an offering to the heavens. But now... What if I could find it for you? This is very Eldar, and you're here for it. I cannot. I have experience fighting Sin Eaters, and the Light's corruption does not touch me like it does the others. Master Matoya called you Minfilia, did she not? Are you truly the Minfilia, descended from the Oracle? Is this where we find out Minfilia's real name? Because the name that is said under the light is their fake names, and then we're gonna find out what her real name is later. Even so, I dare not ask you to risk your life for the blessing. I understand how you feel, but I can't stand by knowing that your people are in need and I can help. Please, let me do this. I would argue that without knowing more about the Heartstone or this custom, this does have a weird energy. Like, retrieving Adia's actual body is slightly different, but I do also see what Minfilia is doing here, so... Very well, but if the danger proves too great, you must retreat. I could never forgive myself if we were forced to hold a second service. Aww. I nearly forgot about Thancred. What if he returns before I do? Don't worry, I'll come with you. That's right, I do owe you 2 Song Redemptions, Cass. And I still have those videos up. I will get back to you on those. Thank you. With you at my side, I'm certain we can deal with them in no time at all. Go swiftly, and may the shadows keep you both. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Come on, nerd. Remember to have a quick break to stretch and hydrate. I will hydrate. Ignore my abnormally large jar. It's fine. We're not gonna go on a proper break because we're just gonna stream for the 4 hours, but yeah. Like we have a plan or something. I remember Kishnok the other day was specifically asking me about something that you and Kishnok had wanted to do. But I don't remember what it was. Did you actually say at that point in time? Damn, what came in that jar? Kimchi. I just always feel bad throwing away really nice big glass jars. Yeah, 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 yeah. Kimchi is amazing. Honestly, it elevates like every meal. But I am biased. Kimchi. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is the kimchi discourse that I crave. It should be around here somewhere, I think. Okay, let's go. That's an interesting idea. I'd be down to talk about it, but I didn't... Was that serious? Because I remember reading that, but I thought it was just a bit. There, the Sin Eaters. Okay. So the fact that it looks like Kurisu does not mean that it is actually Kurisu. These ones aren't actually Light Wardens. I was hoping there would only be one. There's no way we can search for the stone without dealing with them first. You know what? I like asking her what she thinks we should do, right? Let's give her a little bit of control. Thancred has been telling her what to do, Ranjit has been telling her what to do. Minfilia is the only person, the source Minfilia, is the only person who said, let her live her life. Let her live her life. What do you think we should do? Fighting them together here would make a lot of noise, which might attract beasts or other eaters. But if we fought them separately and quietly, we might not have to worry about that. All right, then. I'll draw one away while you handle the other. So how do the Sin Eaters communicate? Ridiculous. Or do they not? You ready to go kill a Sin Eater? Forgiven dissonance? Is that because of the cognitive dissonance I get looking at your ugly mug, Niall? Okay. Let's rock and roll. Calling the Duke of Tuscany now, by the way? Heck yeah. How do Void Scent communicate? As far as we've been able to tell, they either communicate telepathically or vocally, right? Void Scent have been able to project thoughts directly into our brains, and they also communicate, like, we know that Diabolos and others are able to transmit words via spoken speech. But we haven't really seen that with the Sin Eaters. The Sin Eaters don't seem to talk to each other. Oh, Memphilia. Oh, there you are. It's done, though I fear I was a bit careless. I'll do better next time, I promise. If we have a moment where Thancred is like, how could you be so careless? Because she has a scratch, I'm gonna be very upset with Thancred. I'm fine. You needn't worry about me. More importantly, we have to find that Heartstone. They said it was made of jade, right? I'll search over there in the brush. Alright. Dad cred equals overprotective dad. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what's funny about the Crystarium outfit is, like, when you see someone running around in the Crystarium glam, they could very well just be a Crystarium guard. So now think of the elements that Void Scent and Sin Eaters come from, and assign their values to the spawn. But surely, Void Scent don't have to be birthed from someone. Void Scent are generated from the void. Whereas Sin Eaters, near that I can tell, seem to be generated from existent beings. Beings that are already in nature have to be converted to new Sin Eaters. Or can a new Sin Eater be born just from light aether itself? Astral being upheaval, change, noise, disturbance. Interesting. Void and Scent only communicate with one another in sonnets. Change my mind. I can't change your mind, I don't know. There seems to be no trace of the Heartstone here. Wait, come on now. Hold up. I thought this was it. What do you have to say for yourself, Memphilia? Umbral being, peace, serenity, and peace. You doubled, but yeah, fair enough. It must be here somewhere. Perfect, thank you. Okay, well... Why are you like this? You were listening to a thing on House of the Dragon, and you're low-key kind of getting more hype than you thought you would get. I'm actually... Like, again, it's only because it's actually here, so now I don't have to, like, worry about it. But I'm also very excited for House of the Dragon, because we're going to get an answer to whether or not it's good. As opposed to before, where we had to wait, like, a lifetime to actually get anything about it. Is it in here? No, this does not seem to be it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, again, the Targaryen dynasty is kind of interesting. So, you brush away the leaves and uncover a brilliant green gem. Oh. Also, I'm probably going to watch it with some of my friends, and I'm probably going to be painting up some of my minis while we're watching it. So, we'll see how it do. Did you have any luck? Jade Heartstone. A keepsake once belonging to Tadia of the Knight's Blessing. It's beautiful. This has to be it. You know, Thancred always said you were a man of many talents, and I think I'm beginning to understand what he meant. I have much to learn if I'm to be even half the hero you are. You don't have to be a hero, though. The hero she was. Hey, girl, take this from somebody who knew Minfilia. She was very good at administrative work, but, like, hero hour is not necessarily what I think of when I think Minfilia. Paint them up as Blackfires, you won't. I won't, because I don't like the Blackfires. As an answer to you, Demise, truthfully, we don't know, but I'm posting my theories. The serenity, peace, stillness, uniformity means they are all of like mind. Interesting. Whereas, oh, I see what you mean now. Whereas the Sin Eaters, of course, whereas the Void Sent all squabble amongst themselves, and there's competing for power, Daebolos versus Queen Scathach. You're saying that the Sin Eaters, because there is that stillness, that serenity, you don't think that they are individual actors in the same way that the Void Sent are, but rather they are all like of a single hive mind. That's fascinating. Huh. I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. We should hurry back to Slitherbow. Runar and the others are probably worried. As you said, though, that's your understanding. No, I totally buy it, is the thing. Like, I accept wholeheartedly. Blackfires did nothing wrong. You know what? I give the Blackfires more benefit of the doubt than I give Emet Selch. So, you know. And it's backed up by the lore surrounding the energies that govern them. That's fair as well, actually. Are we gonna get the scolding scene now? Thancred, I can explain. Yeah, we are. Well, out with it, then. Woofa doofa. Thank goodness you're safe. I had begun to fear the worst. By all that is dark, you found it. We can proceed with her service as planned. These blessed gems serve not only to protect us in life, but to guide our spirits unto the sunless sea in the hereafter. Even should we be felled by the Sin Eaters, so long as these gems are recovered, our souls are ensured peace in the dark. Dad Fred, fair enough. He's nothing if not consistent. Saying goodbye, Runar lets out a sigh of relief. Words fail to express my gratitude for this kindness you have done for the Blessed. I must insist you and your friend attend Tadia's service as honored guests. There is still much we must do to prepare, but please go and inform the others that it will be held in the dark. When you arrive, there should be an attendant present to explain the proceedings. Okay. I need to throw something out of my inventory. I have so many fishing lures. No, I refuse. Thanks, Bo. Overdue for an inventory stream, I see. No, we have to go through a MSQ! You would pay good money to see a show based on the first few Blackfire rebellions. The first one and its build-up aftermath, up to and including the War of the Ninepenny Kings. That's definitely some of the more interesting history of Westeros, for sure. Anything that I have less than 5 of that does not sell for 2k each, you should just ditch. Does someone mind checking what the Enchanted Elm lumber is selling for right now? Toss out your lures, I'll get you more later. Listen. Elish and I learned so much about the Knights Blessed while you were away. And we helped them recover a lost heirloom out in the woods. I know I wasn't supposed to leave, but they really needed our help. There were Sin Eaters and... As long as he accompanied you. But do try to be more careful. Your injuries could have been a lot worse. But how did you... Okay. Dad Cred did not go as bad as I thought he was going to go. Let's just say a little bird told me, and it's telling me now that Elish has business with us. Is something the matter? My inventory gives you all the rage and you don't even play this game? Listen, it's fine. Or you could be like Azara and only use a versatile lore. I was going through the fishing guild's job quests, and they give you like 100 million baits and lures. They've asked us to attend the service? Of course we'll go. It's being held in the darker, is it? We'll take care not to be late, I promise. Between your earlier excursion and my patrol of the area for Sin Eaters, hopefully Y'shtola and Urianger will be able to finish their work in peace. It's such a relief to know everything is going as planned. I'll join you in the darker shortly. Nymphilia, don't say things like that. Don't do that. Don't say that. Oh, this is not the right place. Do you guys have anything new to say, though? Oh, interesting. You do actually have something new to say. Y'shtola doesn't know more about the language. Okay, but Urianger doesn't have anything new to say. Interesting. I wonder if Y'shtola would have had something new at every step along those quests. Minfilia, that's how the source you died. Stop. I just want her to tell us what her original name was. Enchanted Elm Lumber? Yeah, Enchanted Elm Lumber. Is that anything? Her original name was Greg, please. An entirely different person. That sells for like 550k each? Wait, really? Oh! So what you're saying is I should not throw away the enchanted elm lumber. Oh, and we'll catch you around, Raven. Thank you for hanging out with us. Talk to me about Sephiroth sap. Or you could sell it, or I could hold on to it, so that way when I need it later to craft the item that's super expensive. Although I'm sure the cost of lumber will just go down over time as it becomes easier and easier to gather. So you're right. Or what about Celestine? Sephiroth sap, dude. Listen. The elderly woman hands you a candle. She then points over at a nearby corner where you might place it. Anyways. 1.4k Sephiroth sap. Okay. We'll get rid of that. Celestine. I think it's the stone. Yeah. I don't know if it's been crafted or not. I presume? Yeah. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Uh-huh. Cool. Sorry. Jeez Louise. Uh-huh. Y'all are hooligans. Okay. The stone is worth about 4.5k each, but it's used mainly for FC upgrades to subs and some statues. Okay. And really not hard to get either. Okay. I'll probably just sell it next chance I get. Fazula, you're an absolute menace. Blue flame candle. A handmade candle of the Knight's Blessing. It burns an eerie blue when lit.
It seemed only right that we show our faces. May we join you?
Let us begin. I thank you all for coming to pay respects to our fallen daughter of the night. In the light, she was known as Todia, but in the dark, we shall remember her always as Menine. Let us each take a moment to offer her our prayers. We entrust her now to the night's sweet embrace. In darkness will she be free from pain and suffering, now and forevermore. May her soul find peace in the sunless sea of heaven, and in the love we bear for her in our hearts.
That vessel represents the night sky, the sunless sea of heaven.
Oh, woof.
We call upon you now, O bringer of shadow, to lead this gentle soul onto the sea. We call upon you, O warrior of darkness, to deliver her onto paradise everlasting.
I am told you assisted in the preparations for the service. On behalf of the Blessed, you have my sincerest thanks. The enduring legend of the Warrior of Darkness owes much to the traditions of these people. And none were more ardent in their faith than Todia. She would have been greatly moved by your presence.
You know I don't deserve such reverence.
You might not deliver her to the heavens, but if you could deliver the night sky to her people, the real night sky, it would be the next best thing. Their prayers would finally be answered. They could gaze up at the firmament and see their ancestors in every twinkle of the stars.
Whoa.
We cannot allow their hopes and dreams to drown in the light. We have to bring back the dark. If we don't, who will? Forgive me, thinking of all those we have lost.
No, it's all right. We will bring back the dark.
Mayhaps sooner than later, in fact.
Although I will say Thancred wearing all white while everyone else is wearing darker
Urianger and I
clothes.
finished deciphering the tablet, and its contents were most illuminating. Let us reconvene in my chambers. We have much to discuss.
I mean, that is effectively what we're doing, unfortunately. Okay. There could be no way this could backfire. I mean, the problem is much in the same way, because I was thinking about this the other day, right, is that we know Alamigo had people who rode griffins into battle. And we know that, like, the entire scene with the Yols and the Azim Steppe was very much a, I don't even know what the right word for that would be. Like, it was literally the cavalry, for lack of a better phrase. So there is something to be said for sort of all of the previous engagements where we've recruited the local populace. But I don't know how comfortable I am with, like, ah, yes, we are your prophet made flesh kind of situation. Because I don't think they're not talking about us in these instances. When they're talking about the Warrior of Darkness, surely they have to be talking about Ardbert. Continued escalation against a neutral state? Stop. Hopefully, Y'shtola has good news to share. I'm actually going to turn on the overhead light real fast as well. A chance to see the night has lit a fire in Menphilia that I would see kindled. What do you suppose she's gleaned from the tablet? The thing that I was seeing when I was looking at that pool that's supposed to represent the Sunless Sea is, each one of those stones is a death, which has a weird energy. I have no doubt thou wilt find the contents of the tablet most informative. Good, you're here. Thanks to the Exarch's gift, our next course of action is now clear. Wouldn't at some point, though, the whole pool just light up? And then also, their heartstones are possessed of light, which, I think what it is boiling down to is, I think what would have actually made me more comfortable with the Shadowbringers, because again, to be clear, the narrative is beautiful. My one hang-up is the sort of broadness with which light and darkness is being used contextually. If they had described white, like the light, as purity, for example, or if they had used the term forgiveness, because again, there's all these forgiven sins, right? If they had used those terminology, I would be slightly more comfortable with it, because the Heartstones emit light. Things still use light. Using Astral and Umbral, in fact, is even better. Like, I'm really happy with that, because then the switch of Astral represents stillness and like the death of things, and Umbral represents life and growth and change, and sure, also chaos. That reveal would have been even bigger, right? Like, the fact that they always refer to it as the light, because light denotatively have different interpretations. So yeah. You only have the one hang-up? That's fair. I have plenty of them. You're still hung up on light equals sunlight. I'm still hung up on light means light. Words have meaning for a reason. I do not... Hamburgers are not sandwiches. Stirring up trouble. Y'shtola seems quite pleased with herself, but whether she has good or bad news to share remains to be seen. But etherical light is just another element. But etherical fire is still fire. Let me first begin by explaining the origins of this tablet. I initially believed it might detail the history of the Church of the First Light. But much to my surprise, it dates back to the end of the Ronkan Empire, and was likely written under the direction of the reigning ruler. It was a time of strife and unceasing war with neighboring nations. With each passing day, they yielded more and more territory to their enemies. In their desperation, petitions for aid were sent out to their allies. This was one such petition. And you think this ancient petition will somehow help us get to Yixmaja? Indeed we do. For etched into this tablet is a method by which one may prove themselves an ally of the Ronkan Empire. Provided we are able to decipher said instructions, we may entreat the ruin's protectors to grant us safe passage. The problem, however, is I presently lack the resources to decipher them in their entirety. Oh? We have but one recourse. There exists a stone monument inscribed with ancient Ronkan texts and translations into a more modern dialect which came into use after the fall of the Empire. I am confident it will suit our purposes. Where can we find this monument? Here in Sitia, quite close to Slitherbow, in fact. The good news ends there, however, for it is in the possession of a rather radical faction of dark worshippers, the Children of the Everlasting Dark. If I am to study the monument, I must infiltrate their encampment. They exist in a world where light aether literally blankets the world and blocks even the sun. When the light aether is gone from destroying a light warden, you still get a day-night cycle. They are intrinsically different. And valid. A totally valid point claim. More, I think it would be accurate to say... I don't like the fact that they use light as the shorthand instead of saying light aether. Again, your point is 100% valid. The Blessed Knight do not want the end of all light. They want the end of the tyranny of etheric light. But it is that same shorthand which caused the problems for the Scions upon first getting here, and it's the same problem which is now causing me my mild discomfort. To be clear, I am 100% on board. Etheric light is bad, but the concept of light being bad is where I'm like a little frustrated. Light aspected aether hardly rolls off the tongue. Fair, but being precise is rarely, catchy and expedient. The fact that there are scientific names for things and that we don't use them, I agree, is necessary by virtue of existence, but if there's anyone who should be using the most accurate names possible, etheric light is fine in moderation. Okay. Or they could just call it astral. I'm just saying. I have no intention of taking longer than absolutely necessary, but I will nevertheless require time to transcribe the text I need. To ensure that I will have enough, I am afraid I must ask you and Thancred to assist me. And before you even ask, the answer is no. If we're to remain unseen, our group must be as small as possible. All right, I'll stay here until you return. We won't be long. If anything should happen, you keep her safe. Then let us convene outside, to the west of Slitherbow where the path diverges. I understand the point that you're raising, Gothma, but I'm gonna have to ask it to be turned back a little bit. I 100% understand that that's your preference, but expressing that and then repeatedly doing something with it are two different things, I would argue. I believe they're watching the stream just like anybody else is. I get the point you raise on immersion and everything like that. I just, at a certain point, all set. What I'm doing is I'm streaming publicly. It is directly to my benefit. No, hey, let's take a step back super fast. I understand the point that they're raising, and I get that. No, and a totally valid viewer's perspective. But I would say the first message, totally fine. Repeated messages is pushing a specific agenda, and I'm sorry about that. The encampment we seek is to the north, but it would be foolish to simply rush. A guard has been posted at Cleric to keep watch over the children. Perhaps he has aught to share of their recent activity. But we must tread carefully. There is a chance we may encounter them along the way. Stay close and stay alert. I would avoid a confrontation if possible. They rejoice in dealing death to others, claiming that in doing so they cleanse their victims of sin and usher them unto the sunless sea. I would rather not sully my hands defending myself against such madmen. Now we get some madmen. The direct connection between the Children of Everlasting Night versus radical religious elements that exist in the real world is immediately made apparent to me. Like Dalamud's children actually could be interpreted as offshoots of Menfina's light, right? Because, again, Dalamud was always described as Menfina's dog chasing after her. You could just take it to be people who worship Menfina were particularly upset by the calamity, and so think that they can bring back Dalamud, right? Like we've got case instances of this. By the blessed dark. Thank goodness you are unharmed. We would have arrived sooner, but we too had a rather unwelcome visit from the children. You are an acquaintance of Master Matoya then. My apologies. The children have been acting strange of late, so I thought to take a closer look. I was careless. Strange. What have you seen? At first there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary, the usual gatherings of ingredients for poisons from flora and fauna. But then I took notice of their venomous spiders. They've been breeding them in much greater numbers. It's as if they're preparing for something. Any ideas as to what? It could be anything, really. If it meant the end of the Blessed, nothing would be too cruel or violent for it. So the Children of Everlasting Night are kind of a suicide cult, almost? but perhaps we can use their present preoccupation with spiders to our advantage. If we were to introduce a threat to the nests where they keep them, the children would be compelled to save them. Bees, for example, are a natural predator of spiders. I didn't know that. Set them loose on the nests, and we would have our opportunity to sneak into their encampment. What a mischievous plan. I like it. With a bit of smoke, we should be able to subdue a few colonies long enough to secure their hives. Have you anything we might be able to use? We should have smoke bombs at the outpost just over there. Then it's settled. Grab a few smoke bombs from the outpost and search about for beehives. They believe that by killing people, they can't then be turned into sin eaters, which I think is technically accurate. We've only seen living bodies be converted into sin eaters so far. I imagine the bees won't take too kindly to your visit, but once they've been knocked out, take the beehives and bring them back here. 2 will suffice, I should think. If it's all the same to you, I'll be returning to Slitherbow. I don't want to get in the way. Stay safe, and may the shadows keep you. You don't want to say nihilistic, but, no, nihilism is totally valid as an observation. I definitely think there is an amount of existent, like, again, existentialism and nihilism shares a lot of common ground. I would make the argument, however, that for me, nihilism is if nihilism, as most defenders of nihilism today goes, does not advocate for self-harm, then it's existentialism. The thing that makes nihilism so much more of a touchy subject for me is it feels like it is existentialism taken to a new extreme. But again, to be clear, there are tons of nihilistic writers who would argue that their position is fundamentally different, and I would not take that from them. But yeah, that kind of we've lost mentality and ushering on a good death is already lost. Right, like, there is definitely something to that, I think. Oh, okay. Sweet as. Ignore me, actually. Okay. And then I beat them up? Are we sure about this Final Fantasy XIV? I guess it says Soldier Bee Cloud, so then the beehive itself no longer has defenders? Oh my god, am I an idiot? Oh, I'm supposed to use the burlap stack on them. I understand now. Okay. I do need to use a second item. Hold up. Right? Is that it? No. Oh no, I used the burlap sack now? God. Okay. Use a large burlap sack to take these from the beehive. Got it. Sweet as. And then the other one is going to be over here. Yeah, I think... So, to the point that is raised... a part of why I only did MSQ once a week was in part because I didn't want Final Fantasy XIV to become a public experience for me. But if I am streaming it, in my mind, I am making it fundamentally public. And so while that can definitely have some different connotative implications, right? I think to just sort of assume that no one, especially because as I'm streaming, it has, like, I don't know. I understand the point that was raised. I just don't know that I necessarily agree with the way that it was raised. But, again, the point was valid, I would argue. But yeah. Alright, let's keep rocking and rolling, baby. So we're grabbing a bunch of soldier bees to kill a bunch of spiders to aggravate the Children of Endless Night. Were you able to find it? The god returned to Slitherborough, but not before offering his thanks. As for the beehives, Thancred and I were inquiring what we need. How did you fare? Buzzing Burlap sat. For God's sake, don't let them out. That is more than enough. The children are certain to be displeased. Let us hurry before the bees begin to stir. A beautiful plan. Y'shtola is ready to move. The children's settlement is to the west, a place they call Woven Oak. According to the god, there is an airway apart from the entrance, which leads to the spider's nest. If the fates are kind, the way will be clear. I will say, I get how it can be distracting, and there are definitely times and behaviors which are distracting. And I have spoken to people in the past about those times and behaviors. For me, personally, I don't know how much of this... Again, because this is the thing, is like, if you want to enjoy a game, and this is a constant conversation with streamers, right? There is a way to enjoy the game that you would do personally. And then there's another way of you turning it into a business. Because in an ideal world, I want this to be something that I do professionally. And so that makes it fundamentally different than just playing it for myself. And that, again, it's a part of the reason why I called Fridays For Me Fridays as opposed to Final Fantasy XIV Fridays or anything like that. The experience is about what I want when I stream Final Fantasy XIV on Fridays, and turning it into a main stage game is different, right? Now it's no longer, this is just a thing that I am doing for me however I want. It is now how I am trying to stream on a somewhat professional level. I say somewhat professional, not that I think that my stream is bad, but in that, obviously there's a lot of joking around, there's a lot of like bit playing and all of that, but I do in an ideal world want to do this full time for the purposes of income. And I have to keep those sorts of things in mind going forward, so... Sorry if that means it's not a better personal experience, but my hands are somewhat tied in tailoring it to each and every individual person's needs. We should move quickly before any of the children arrive. So this is a thing I've talked to people privately about, and I didn't want it to become the conversation that it is now becoming. So we're gonna say one last thing, and then we're gonna just sort of go from there. I really appreciate people coming out to the streams. Like, the fact of the matter is that if nobody watched the stream, I wouldn't be able to do it. And so however you guys interface with it is something that I enjoy and appreciate. So if you guys want to hang out with me, yeah. Is there something to be said about the fact that the Warrior of Light in canon, in fiction, supposedly does all of these things by themselves? Sure, absolutely. But is there also something to be said for the other side, which is that, obviously, despite the narrative, you are actually accompanied by a bunch of other people who you know are actually also running through the game at the same time? Yes. So I think both sides merit value, which is why if I do bring these things up, I try and bring them up off stream. So again, if you feel like this is a thing that you are doing to protect me, I appreciate the sentiment that is being brought up there, and I appreciate you trying to preserve that experience. If this is something specifically for an agenda, that's a different conversation entirely. So, right. But in canon, they don't. The other Warriors of Lights are adventurers backing you. Which I can see that they've changed that with the trust system, and arguably the trust system is very good. We'll have another conversation about this, because we're nearing the end of the stream. But for right now, let's finish up the MSQ, I think. Up there is the airway. Do you see it? A bit far, perhaps, but we should be able to toss the bag through. Though we should probably loosen the ropes keeping it closed, enough that it falls open when it lands inside. May I do the honors? That should do it. Now we wait. What is that? Bees! Not the bees! It sounds like our plan is working. Still, it is quite likely not all were drawn away from their posts. If you should come to blows with the children, I'll see to it any signs of struggle are concealed. Failing that, I'll create a distraction to buy Y'shtola more time. Should anyone get past me, it falls to you to guard her. Your concern is appreciated, but I sincerely doubt it will come to that. Why do I get the feeling you enjoy the idea of my loafing about bored in the shadows? Come now, Thancred. The shadows are a fitting place for a warrior of darkness. Now, if you both are ready... Go on, I'll be right behind you. So am I going in through an entrance over here? No, okay. We gotta go around. Ooh. What's a B rank? Mind Maker. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this cult, similar to the Children of Dalamud, is that these guys are not tempered by anything. This is just a genuine belief of them. The font of seeing suggests this is a chamber for prayer. At the very least, they should not place this near potential distractions from their worship. Perhaps the monument is further in. Yes, this is it. I will be but a moment. Keep watch of the entryway. On second thought, would you mind examining the murals on these walls while I look over this? At a glance, I can tell they are old, predating the founding of the Blessed and the Children. We'll not like to come here a second time. It would behoove us to learn all that we can. Oh? Examine the murals and take note of what event they may depict. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a mural and examine it with left click. The mural appears to be very old. A ruler sits atop a throne attended by their subjects. What? And it is a lot of candles. As far as I'm able to tell, right, the fact that the candles are blue is indicative more of the faith than anything else, but yeah. The mural appears to be fairly old. A knight shields himself and their comrades from an encroaching darkness. The central figure is considerably faded. So this is Ardbert and everybody, I presume. The mural appears to be ancient. A warrior in the middle stands triumphant over what appears to be a creature of shadow. Other figures surround the warrior, rejoicing in their victory.
These paintings, they seem familiar. Depictions of heroes throughout history. The Age of Gods, the Empire of Ronka, and this. There was a man, a researcher who pored over these pieces. He offered us work when we needed it. Slaying beasts, delivering provisions. A funny old bugger he was.
Hey, Saint.
But he had a good
We're
heart.
about to end the stream.
He believed this first painting dated back to a time of myth and legends. A tribute to the heroes of a long-forgotten era.
Like the old warriors.
The story
of
went
life.
that it was
Sure.
rediscovered by an explorer from Ronka, who was so struck by its majesty that a second painting was commissioned, commemorating the heroes
Appreciate
of
you
their
popping
day.
by, my friend.
One day you will all be here too, he said. Heroes immortalized forever. Maybe I'll paint you myself? I had a good laugh at that. We were only trying to make our way after all. Being heroes couldn't have been further from our minds. But it seems he actually went and did it. Before or after the flood, I wonder. Rather faded, isn't it, compared to the others? Or did someone try to scrape it off the wall? Well, maybe the man himself once he came to his senses. Do you suppose your deeds will warrant an addition to this collection? Or some other kind of monument?
There you are. I have everything I need. Let us quit this place. Is something the matter? We should go. The others are waiting.
Good to see my distraction proved useful. I believe I now have everything needed to finish deciphering the tablet. Tell me, Elish, did the murals appear to be of any significance? Depictions of heroes from the Age of Gods, the Ronkan Empire, and immediately before the Flood. Very astute observation. Perhaps in another lifetime you could be a curator of antiquities. Though it has no bearing on the task at hand, perhaps that knowledge may prove to be of use in the future. Okay, and I feel physically ill, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to stop the stream. Just because I'm gonna need some time to sort of reset and reconfigure myself. So to be clear, thank you, St. Guard, for popping by. Rejoice in the coming oblivion! Wait, wrong game. No, it's good, my friend. Yeah, there's something, a little bit of the Nine Divines in me. The Crusader of the Nine Divines. No, and Fafnir, hey, I appreciate you saying that. And to be clear, I don't think anybody was in the wrong. I think... Let's peel the veil back behind me streaming for a hot second, right? I am very lucky to have been a part of larger communities that exist beforehand. There's a reason why I made a command for the Jolly Jupiters, ! Jupes. There's a reason why I played games that have any degree of mainstream appeal, which is I am trying to piggyback off of the existence of other things, right? I'm trying to say, hey, Final Fantasy XIV already has a community. If I make an announcement in the FC about like, hey, I want to do this thing, is it okay if we do it while you're on stream, right? There is a sort of explicit assumption. In part, I'm trying to drum up more attention, more excitement about it. Hey, I'm streaming. You can show up on the stream if you do that, if that sweetens the pot at all. But it's such a delicate game that we play, right? Because it's not. I don't want it to be, hey, if you come watch my stream, you'll become famous or anything like that. That's nothing. And I get that, right? Like I get there are some people who run around in Final Fantasy XIV, and what they do is they shout, announce, right? Just like people do for venues, that they're streaming. And I don't personally like that. I don't think that's got that sort of personal one-on-one energy or that sort of tailored experience. And so like I have some conflict with that. But at the same time, I can't tell them that what they're doing is wrong. Right? Like, hey, they also want to do this as a job. We're all trying to figure it out, and there are rules that are socially acceptable, and there are rules that aren't. And even though part of it is playing the game, looking at the metrics, trying to figure out what is going to get the most number of people to come in and to do all of this stuff, right? What I'm honored by is the fact that there are people who popped in, right, because they were on stream or because they were a part of a dungeon or a part of a trial, and then they decided to stay, right? And this is, again, when I talk to people in private about it, there are some people, right, who, as a part of the bit, right, let's go to the Yulmore Strip Club, right? Obviously I was out of sorts. I was very embarrassed. It was a very like make fun of me kind of moment. And I appreciate some people reached out to me afterwards and they were like, hey, did we cross a line, or is that something like, and I get that. And those are the moments that I appreciate and I understand. But when we're talking about the stream from the perspective of a endeavor, what I need to be concerned about, unfortunately, more than anything else, is trying to make sure that the space is comfortable and that people feel safe and that the place is one where people can do, within reason, whatever they want. If I had gone to the Yulmore Strip Club and everyone was like running over wherever the camera perspective was, right? Or if I was doing something that was incredibly pivotal to the plot and I felt like someone was intentionally obstructing something, that would be a different experience than people politely and respectfully following along. And maybe you disagree, and that is totally valid, and feel free to voice that. But the moment where it becomes, now chat is not a safe space, now instead of it being an expression of preferences, but people calling people out by name to try and shame them, or to try and do something about them specifically, the space is no longer safe. The space is adversarial at that point. And I understand, again, that people are operating under what they think is both mine and the stream's best interest, and I appreciate that, but that is something I cannot abide by. Name-calling, insulting another person, all of those things. If you think you are doing right, maybe talk to me about it separately, but don't do that to another person in the community, because I will not abide by it. And I appreciate the intent behind it, but that kind of behavior, especially when it is hostile against someone else specific, that is almost as bad, in my opinion, as someone else coming into my stream to pay me to try and do something. I don't have a rule about that. I'll have to revise some things and figure that out. But there is a difference between politely expressing your perspective and your opinion and attacking someone. That I feel a little weird. That's a line of dialogue that I'm gonna have to figure out and ingratiate into the community somehow. Because I have to make that a rule now. And we might take a break on Final Fantasy XIV earlier than I expected. I'm not 100% sure. I don't feel. And hey, let's go at this from another perspective. This is a kind of conversation we would have had to have eventually. The community is growing, and I appreciate that, and all sorts of different people from all sorts of different perspectives are going to be coming in. But I need that to mean, instead of it being, let's stick to the old ways, I need that to then mean, let's be even more willing to change, or even more willing to adapt. And I need to codify that somehow now. So I'll be thinking. In the meantime, however, there are tons of streamers, both smaller and larger, both in our community who post in the promote themselves, if you're looking for somebody a little bit more focused on that individual, unique experience. And there are also people who are significantly larger than me. So if either of those are the directions you'd prefer, feel free to check out the Promote Yourself section. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and send a raid out to Winter's Frozen. They're another friend of mine. They do Unreal, progging right now. I don't believe they made it to affiliate, so if you at all feel like, dropping them a follow, feel free to do so. But in the meantime, be kind to each other. If there's ever a moment where you've got a difference of opinion or a difference of perspective, you are of course welcome to vocalize that. But do it in a way that does not change the dynamic in the space. Anyways, sending that raid out, and I will catch you all soon. See ya.